Yeah, we on Boss Talk 101. Yeah, we gon' talk, we gon' have fun. We be on fire, we be lit. It's a unique hustle. Big.
Check it. This Unique Hustle. It's your boy ECEO, and I'm here with the lovely, amazing, official Miss Jamaica. What's going on?
No, walk on. I want y'all to stop what you're doing right now. Go like, subscribe, follow us from all social media platforms. When I mean all, I mean all. Or Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Snapchat. You name it, we're on it. Just Google us, Boss Talk Podcast 101. We'll pop up first in line, I guarantee you. But y'all see us in the streets and talk about, man, I love what y'all doing. Keep up the good work. How can we be a part of Boss Talk? This is how you can be a part of Boss Talk. Under each and every interview, including this one right here in the description section below, there's a link that says join our membership. Click that link, follow all the instructions, and that's how you can get to see all the exclusive content. Y'all been asking us, where's this interview, where's that interview? You got to be a member to see it. Thank you in advance, and we love you.
Listen, man, y'all make sure y'all go download that app right now, man. We got the hardest app that's out. I ain't even seen that, man. Mark Zuckerberg and them getting jealous. Niggas gonna start blocking my. I know them niggas gonna be tripping. You know what I'm saying? I got the app, man.
Boss Talk
it's going down. You know what I'm talking about, man? I got it. Now let's do something about it, man. Listen, we got a special treat for y'all today. This guy don't need no introduction, man. If you watch and listen and learn today, you gonna have yourself, boy, you gonna put some fat on your head, man. It's going down. My guy, Erotic D, is in the building.
Yeah, what's up? I'm finally
nigga,
here,
you done made it. Nigga, mama, he made it, man. I don't know about them other shows, but you here now. Here. You know what I'm talking about?
I've been watching y'all for a minute. Like, when these clips pop up in my feed.
Yes, sir.
I get trapped. I get caught in. I get pulled in.
Yeah.
So sometimes I'll be like grooming or whatever, be turning it, especially the big U stuff.
Oh man.
Turn that on.
Yeah, I'm on the reviews like crazy, man.
Yeah.
Says, let's get to it, Mr. Jamaica. Let's take him down through there.
First of all, I gotta ask you, because hearing the name, because I had to ask him 3 times whenever he told me the name. I said, Erotic D. I said, he's a what? Is he a porn star? I said, what name?
Shit, wait a minute.
I usually answer that question sometimes.
I know that's right. That's it. Yes, sir. Sometimes.
Who gave you that name, Erotic D?
I'm glad you asked that, because somebody did give me that name. So I started out.
Hopefully it was a female.
No, it wasn't. That's the odd part about it. But we were young, right?
Okay.
So I started doing hip hop as a DJ first.
Right.
So we would DJ. I was like 13 years old. Hip hop wasn't real massive here yet, and my specialty would be we at the parties. I'm scratching, and he said, "These girls be coming around just watching you do that while you doing that. That's kind of sexy to them. So I'm gonna call you Erotic D." It was way better than what I was calling myself. So
what were you calling yourself?
We don't want nobody to know.
I'll tell you, because you asked so nicely.
Yes.
I was calling I was calling myself the professor of the scratch.
Already.
Because I was like, I'm the best.
Hey, man, wait a minute. Let me stop the press, y'all. We got to say this right now, man. Big Court from Holding Court Podcast.
Yeah.
Send my boy Erotic D over here. Call me, say, man, we need to link up. It's going down, man. Shout out to my boy, Big Court. I'm holding court. I'm standing trial. Yeah. That's my guy right there. Yeah, so let's get to it.
I hit him this morning. Told him I appreciate him for the connect. Because, man, I'm a real low key dude. I've done a lot in this business.
Okay.
And I've only done it because I love doing it.
That's it.
I ain't never done it for the accolades and all that. They come with it.
That's right.
And when you business minded, money come with the work. You know what I mean? So I don't have to worry about money. I just got to worry about having somebody watch that money once it start being generated. To me, that's a consequence of loving what I do, right? So you gotta watch the money. But I got 3 sons that rap now, and I got a daughter that is an actress. Yeah, Gigi, that's my baby. She got her first movie out. It came out to theaters last April. Now streaming on Stars. So since all my children want to get into the business, well, they are in the business. I usually stay low key, don't do no interviews, don't do no talking. And one day I was like, I'm doing my children a disservice if I don't use all of me to help them out.
That's dope.
Yeah, so I decided, I'll get out of my comfort zone. So I started commenting on people's Instagram, and Big Court was one of them. And usually people would be like, is this the the Erotic D, the one that did the Dr. Dre or the D.O.C. thing? And I'm like, yeah, that's me. And so me and him have stayed in contact, and he started watching the stuff I post, and he was like, you'd be great for CEO.
Let me tell you something, man. First of all, let me just say, anybody sitting in that seat right there and prayed about it already, I can guarantee you my interview's going to go up because of the prayer that I have and the belief system I use in God. So I already know that's why God be blessing this show.
Absolutely.
We've been doing crazy numbers, and people looking, they try to figure out what we got going over here. But me and this woman, we stay on our knees together. Me and this woman pray together daily, man. It's going down like that, right?
Man, I even set up and watched y'all little video y'all did sitting in the car going to her brother's house for Thanksgiving, all that. I study people like I think people should study me.
That's it. Thank you so much.
Yeah, man. But I like it because I'm usually, I've been married most of my life.
That's it.
Been divorced for 7 years.
Yeah.
But I'm always loving the husband-wife thing.
Man, I thank God for it. Man.
I think it's essential, and for a man to be successul, you got to have one woman. You can't have a million of them. You know what I mean?
I agree.
So it's gonna cost you too much.
Yeah, it's gonna cost you a lot. So,
definitely gonna cost you a lot.
More than money.
That's
you know
right.
What I mean? So that was another thing that made me love this. And of course, if you know my daughter's name, so you know me and Gigi are really close.
That's
we
right.
do a lot together. So that's another thing that drew me to Big Court.
That's right. Him and his daughter. Shout out to them, man. They've been on the show together too.
Yeah,
man.
And they be having me laughing because my daughter act just like his daughter already. How she be insulting me and looking at me crazy when I say, and I'm like, when you start this? Now she calling me dad. I ain't daddy no more.
Nah, that's over with. Be pops for us all over.
Yeah. I'm pops with the boys.
There it is.
Yeah.
How old were you when you did start? Because you mentioned at a young age when hip hop first started or whatever, that's when you started doing the DJing. How old were you at that time?
I was 13.
You were 13.
Yeah, and I didn't wait for people to hire me. I started throwing my own parties at 13. So I had money like a drug dealer as a kid. You know what I mean? Like, and I kept going with it. By the time I was 15, I was at a party, and I've always been focused. I ain't never put a woman before my career. So I never left a party with a girl, never danced with the girls at the party. My job was to do the DJing and collect what's at that door. And I happened to be doing it in a city called Arlington, which was mostly white. So from day one, I had these parties, they were packed with black kids from all of the surrounding cities. And so I've been having money since I was 13, just the legal way first. And when I was 15, I was playing a record, and I was like, I could make that record. I didn't know what went into making a record. I just thought I could make it. So at 15, I made my first record.
But before you get into that, you said in Arlington, where it was mainly white, but you had parties that was jam-packed with black. Did you get any flack for that? Like, a lot of people calling the police about your parties, trying to shut y'all down, all of that sort of stuff?
I got lucky. I got blessed by this woman. I had a friend that lived in some apartments. They had a clubhouse, and his friend said, you can use this clubhouse, you just got to live here, so you can say you live with me or whatever. But it didn't have to go that way. When I went in there, the lady was like, yeah, you could rent it. It's $100, and we give you the $100 back once you clean up and we inspect it. There ain't no holes in the walls and nothing like that. So the first time I went and did that, it was packed. No complaints, no nothing. So when she gave me the cash back, I gave it right back to her, said, can I have it again this coming Saturday if nobody has it? So we did this for about a month, and one day she finally just said, you know what, you've been great. We don't have any complaints. You always clean up. It looks just like it looked when you started. Why don't you get your mom, because I'm 13, why don't you get your mom to come down here and write a check, and we'll just put it in this drawer right here, and you'll have this club room every Saturday night. You got a standing reservation every Saturday night. And so thank God I wasn't putting myself out there to be a DJ for other people's parties. Because now I got my own little in facto like type of club.
Right.
And people knew that there was going to be a party here every Saturday. So that lady pretty much helped me start my career and have a steady place for people to go. And once we had our first fight at the club, it was one of my homeboys got jumped by somebody, but he handled them. The people that jumped him, they the ones left there hurt, right? But that was when I was already making records, so I was like, I ain't doing this party stuff no more. Now it's getting dangerous.
Wow.
You know, I always think about the people that come to my events, and I never wanted to be in a situation where somebody was dead after one of my parties or something like that.
How long did it last for before?
2 years before I started focusing on producing.
Wow.
Okay. I want to jump back in because I started it a little bit different. I normally go into your background, so I want to know, you know, you were born and raised with your mom and your dad in the same household,
Yes.
and in Dallas?
We were a military family, so I was born in Dallas, and pretty much as soon as I was born, my dad joined the military.
Okay. How old was
My mother was 15 when she had me,
Okay.
turned 16 8 days later. My dad turned 17 a couple of months later. So
Okay.
he lied about his age and got in the
To get
military.
in.
Yeah. And so from there until I was 11, we lived in a different state or a different country every year
Every
of my
single
life.
time.
Yeah. So I called Arlington home because it was the first place that I ever lived more than 1 year.
Wow.
Yeah.
So what was the most exotic place, since your name is exotic?
Erotic, yeah.
Erotic. But it was the most exotic place, or the place that you can think about, that you always remember, that you went to, that you loved?
The places that I love, they're not very exotic, and I think the closest thing to an exotic place might have been Korea.
Okay.
You know, because there were a lot of things there. Like, this is my brand right here, right? But when I went to Korea, when we were living in Korea, my dad was bringing stuff home with our names on it. You know,
wow.
because, you know, Korea is one of the places
You can
that
get stuff
America
made easy. Mm-hmm.
So we were getting books made with our names in them and all of that stuff.
How old were you at that time when you
Probably
were there?
about 5, 6, 7.
And you remember all of that?
I remember. You know why?
Why?
Because we lived in a different place all the time, so I
right.
can associate my memories with the places we lived in.
How long were you in Korea for? Do you remember?
I don't remember that.
So, being raised by, I want to say, young kids, because
Yes.
they were young.
Yeah.
What was that like, being raised by young parents? And it's not even like they had their grandma to help raise you, because since they were moving around a lot, grandma wasn't there, it was just them. So your mom must have been a stay-home mom while dad went working.
She was. When we were in the military, my mom was a stay-at-home mom. That's a great question. Nobody has ever asked me that, but it's very important to how I turned out. We sometimes we lived on military bases, and I had 3 siblings, so we were kind of like a built-in group. You know, we didn't. I didn't feel strange being a new kid anywhere. You know, so we'd be outside all day. Mom would be inside doing
Chores.
mom stuff, right? So I tell people all the time, like, having a mother like my mother, who's still with me, I see her all the time. She cooked every day, all of our meals. I never had, when fast food restaurants started being popular, we still didn't get that. My mom cooked full meals every night. My dad was home to eat with us every day. He never, through all of my life, my dad never spent the night out. I never heard them arguing about him not coming home or any of that kind of stuff. In fact, I used to be able to get away with certain things because I knew they would be in the bed by 10 o'clock, right? All the time. And this, you know, when you think about it, I moved to California when I was 18, so my parents were barely 33, 34 years old, you know, they were still young. They were, somehow, probably because my mom came from a family of 13 kids.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and my dad, he only had 2 sisters, but my grandparents on his side were serious pastors. They were preachers. So he was raised kind of a strict family.
Where were they
kind of
raised?
way.
In Texas as well? Okay.
Well, my mom came from Georgia,
Okay.
and then moved to Texas. Well, she moved to California first, then to Texas.
Okay.
She told me just last week that the reason she did part of her childhood in California was because when she was growing up in Georgia, you know, the Jim Crow thing was going down, and her mom, my grandmother, was scared that violence would, the white
Affect.
people would kill, her kids. So she moved them to California for a while. So I still have family in California, which helped me in the music business a little bit here and there coming up. But yeah, they were really about, being together and building a family. We ate dinner together every night at the table, all of that. And by the time I'm 13, You know, they couldn't help me figure out my next move as an entrepreneur or nothing like that. They never experienced any of that. So I always tell people my parents didn't help me become who I became, but they didn't stop me.
Right,
That
and back then
helped more.
And back then, entrepreneurship wasn't so big as it is now.
Right.
Not for us.
It wasn't.
It was because I remember growing up, my mom was always like, "Go to school, get your degree, go get a job."
Yeah.
That's all parents used to always tell you. But if you turn to them and say, "No, I'm going to work for myself," they're looking at you like, "What are you talking about?"
No, my dad was a gangster, even though he went to the military. He was from the West Dallas Projects, so his mentality was projects mentality.
Okay.
So it was like, boy, you ain't gonna make no money doing this rapping.
Go to the military. Was he trying to get you in the military too?
No, thank God. No, because he did see combat in Vietnam for a little bit, you know what I mean? So he never told us, matter of fact, my father never told us anything to do. He never told us, I had a brother, he passed away a year ago.
Rest his soul.
Yeah, thank you. So my parents never gave us any parental advice, ever.
That's what I was wondering, because since they're young, because that's what I was going to ask you, compared to a traditional older, parent who's going to try to instill certain things into you, they're trying to do everything on the fly, because it's almost like they're trying to be your parent, but your best friend, friend at the same time, because they really don't know.
They were definitely parents and not friends. They were corporal punishment parents. They were whooping ass, all that. But you think about it. They had. I have twin sisters, so with my brother, they had 4 kids before they were 20. Yeah, and they stayed together.
Back.
Yeah, and they stayed together till my dad died. I found him in 2018.
You found him.
I found him, and
what did he pass away from?
Man, his doctor gave me a list that said any one of these things on this list could have done it.
Could have done it.
Yeah.
He had no illnesses before?
This list that he didn't tell us about.
Oh, y'all didn't even know he was...
We knew he had prostate cancer polyps because my grandfather died of prostate cancer, so we know that's hereditary. So he was always going to the doctor. They would remove him, so he didn't have prostate cancer. Yeah, because you can just remove it, right. But I found out he had diabetes, he had bad liver, which I heard them talking about when I was a kid because he was a drinker. Okay. So he's had a bad liver that I know of since I was a kid. A
long time.
And he had every other thing you can think of, a bad heart, all of his body, his organs were bad. And so either one of them could have killed him. The way we found him, I just say a heart attack.
How old was he when he passed?
67.
67.
Yeah. And ironically, my aunt, his middle sister, she lived 1 year longer than him, died on the same day at the same age.
That's crazy.
Wow. I want to go back to your brother.
Yeah.
Like, how did he pass last year?
Same thing. So here's my secret. I must be like impenetrable. God, I'm playing. But my father, who raised me, married my mother while she was pregnant with me. So whatever happened to my brother may have been genetic, and I don't have his genes.
Yeah.
All right. So my brother was 51, and he had a stroke 2 years before, and he fully recovered from the stroke. But they told him in the emergency room that night that he would have to take a baby aspirin for the rest of his life. And I don't know if he was doing that or not, but he was. My brother was bigger than me. He was probably about 6'1", close to 6'2", rocky, because he stayed in the gym every day. So it baffled me the day he died because he had a fight that day. He had beat up his daughter's
boyfriend,
baby daddy. So he had let his daughter move in while she was pregnant, and she was trying to force my brother to let the baby daddy move in, and my brother was like, absolutely not.
Right.
He shouldn't even be pregnant. So the boy somehow jumps on my brother's back, starts hitting my brother or whatever. My brother, he loved to fight, so that was right up his alley. Snatched him up. I heard he beat him silly with a stick or something, and then threw him out the house like they used to throw Jazzy Jeff out. Threw him out the house like that. Then about an hour later, he started complaining about having gas in his chest, and he complained about having gas for like
heart attack.
4 or 5 hours. And so he said, he kept on taking Tums, and he said, I'm going to lay down for a little while. And when his wife got home from work, she said he was still breathing, and so she made him dinner. And then when she went back in there, he wasn't breathing anymore. So, at first I was so devastated because I thought somebody had killed my brother, right? So me and my cousin are already talking about what we gonna do about it. And then my mother calls me and gave me the story. Well, his wife did. Gave me the story about how she found him. And I'm like, well, there's a silver lining, because as much as he didn't run from fights, nobody got to kill him. He died painlessly in his sleep other than gas. So because he had been shot at before by one of his other daughter's boyfriends for beating him up. He had almost all girls.
It's all going down in Arlington or what's down?
Fort Worth. Well, he was in Lancaster. He was close to
Lancaster. Okay, he right up to 20 right there.
Yeah, so he was in Lancaster when that happened. When the shooting happened, that was in Fort Worth. The boy missed, but he was trying
Them
to
daughters that's with all of the wrong boys.
Man, look, they mama got a dude shot. So I'm like, don't let these girls repeat history, bro.
Wow.
Right? So it's like some dude paralyzed right now for being in a relationship with their mother. So before my brother met her. So yeah, he was a quiet dude, didn't really bother people, but if you bothered him, he was gonna bring it to you. So
how did the daughter feel after that happened? Because I was like, I always put myself in other people's shoes. I'm like, to know that my boyfriend and my dad just fought. And then that same day, things start running through your mind. Like, if he didn't do that, would he still be here today, type of thing? And so, how did she handle all of that after that?
I really don't know.
You hadn't spoken to her about it?
No, I do know that a lot of people in our family piled on her at first and was like, "You got to live with this. This is your fault."
Right. That's what I'm like.
And then there's another part of our family that was like, "Stop doing that to her because, she already got to live with this." But to be honest with you, like my brother was so secretive. I knew about these kids, right? So, but I hadn't seen her since probably the holiday before, and before that, I hadn't seen her since I used to hold her as a baby.
Okay. Wow.
So I didn't, my brother kept his family to himself to the point where once he passed away, I met 3 kids I didn't even know he had.
Wow.
They were living with him. He was raising them. They were teenagers.
You didn't.
I didn't know. But, some people in my family may say I'm too busy to know.
Yeah.
But my brother can call me anytime he wants and tell me something, what I mean? But he just chose not to do that. My guess was that he probably didn't want the ex-wife to know. I think he still wanted her. So, whatever it was, my mom, that was my mom's first time meeting them kids at his memorial,
That's
and so
crazy.
she spent time with them since then. They were acting, standoffish when I met them. Of course, they didn't know who I was.
Right.
So I haven't seen those kids again either. And now they're with a woman I only met once, and that was when he had his stroke. He was with this woman long enough to raise teenagers, right? And I had never met her and never even seen her face until we were in the emergency room 2 years before he passed away.
Wow.
Yeah. So
hold on, but I gotta go back to something that you mentioned. So your father that raised you isn't your biological father. Do you know your biological father or know of him, who he is?
Talked to that loser when I was about 16 years old. Now, this is a wild story. So I was the first everything on both sides of family. First son, first grandson, first nephew, first everything. So my family, I will say this, I can look into this camera and say, my family treated me like a king my whole life.
Wow. That's dope.
All of my family. So in doing, I say that before I say nobody knew that this wasn't my biological father. I didn't know that.
Up till what age?
They didn't know. Oh, his side of the family.
No, but you, when did you find out?
When I was 8 years old, I was home visiting, and one of my mother's sisters was like, I know your real daddy. And I was like, what? My parents ain't never said this to me.
At 8 years old, that's how you found out.
And so she took me over to his house.
So where's your mom? How she just behind your mama's back?
Oh my God, all is behind my mama's back.
That's what I'm like. But keep going with the story.
So we go over there. I spent about 4 hours over there waiting on this dude. It was cold as hell outside. Meet my little brother that he got. He's younger than me, this little kid. So we throw around the football a little bit while we waiting on dude to come. He never shows up. I feel like now that I'm a grown man, I'm pretty sure his mom, because it was his mom's house, she called
and said,
this dude over here don't come to this house or whatever.
Okay.
So when I started experiencing success in the music business from DJing, I was making so much money. My mother agreed to co-sign for me to have my first apartment when I was 16 years old.
Before you, so at this time, your mama still don't know that you went behind her back and
she knows.
Okay,
knows.
I just want to know
she
that
knows
she
at
knew.
The time, so I'm thinking to connect that.
Okay.
So when I get the apartment, like growing up, my father that raised me never mentioned anything about it. He never treated. In fact, he would always introduce me as, "This is my oldest boy." He had a real distinct voice. "This is my oldest boy." When I got my first apartment at 16, I left school as a senior, but I went straight to college.
Okay.
I didn't finish school, but I conned my way into college so we didn't have internet then, right? So I'll get you the transcript as soon as I can. They told me I can't get them yet or whatever. I let that fraud go on for about a year while I'm in college. But I got this apartment, I'm DJing, and I'm in school. I did that to try to make my mom and dad see that I didn't leave school just because I didn't want to be in school. It just wasn't for me. So I call that same aunt and like, "Can you get dude's phone number for me?" And she gets his phone number. We talk for hours. And I find out he was a keyboard player in a band and all of this kind of stuff. And I'm like, all right.
That's where you get it from.
Yeah, but I still credit the man that raised me, my father, because he was more like a DJ. Like he had all of the music in the house.
Okay.
His record collection could probably fill this part of this room.
Wow.
So I used to steal his records and go crazy on them. But we talked for hours every time we talked for about a month. And then he kept on ghosting me. Third time he ghosted me about coming to see me, I let him have it. I was like, "You know what, man? You ain't got to come see me. I got a father. And you keep telling me you coming and then don't show up. So if I ever run into you in public and you tell me you are who you are, I'm gonna introduce you to my friends as my friend." And I ain't heard from him since.
Wow. So you still hadn't talked to him?
I ain't heard from him since I was 16 and never seen him.
Never.
So
It's an era of Facebook. You can look people up now if you really want to.
I don't want to. I mean, I had a great father figure. He had his faults, but I had a great family. And when my mom, when I mentioned to my mom that her sister had taken me to see him,
What did she do?
She said, I said, "What's up with that?" And she was like, "Well, when he found out I was with your father, I told him you needed Pampers. And he told me, tell that other nigga to get them." And she said, "That was the last chance I gave him to do anything for you."
Wow. Man, that's, like I said, man, and that's that childhood. Hey, we all got a past, man. And I ain't gonna lie to you, man. It's something that really rears us and make us who we are today.
Yeah.
So I love that, bro.
But I be wondering, though, if although you had a great example of a father and you had a mother in your life, those times when he didn't show up or, said those things and knowing that this is your biological father, did this mentally affect you if you look back on your life, now as you're a grown person now and you can reflect and look at certain things and acknowledge certain things? Do you feel like that affected you anyhow in your life?
That's a great question. No, because let me take you back to that 11 years that I lived in a different state, in a different country every year of my life. It taught me not to be attached to anything.
Got it.
Wow. Guys, go ahead.
I was used to things being here one day, not the next. I don't think I thought about him for years until I went to prison. And, then when I did, I started thanking my father for coming to see me with my mother. And I was like, you didn't have to do this, you didn't have to do that. He never would talk to me. Anytime I brought up the other dude, my old man would turn his head like I ain't talking. He not one word came out of his mouth about not being my biological father, no matter how many times I tried to bring it up. So I thought about it then, and then when we were having my father's funeral, I spoke at the funeral, and this one I found out nobody in his family knew. I was like, he didn't have to raise another man's kid. He treated me like I was his own, blah, blah. My mom called me about a couple of days later because she didn't go to the funeral because she couldn't handle it.
But she heard all.
She was like, son, I wish you hadn't mentioned that your father wasn't your father. His family didn't know. And now they're all upset, want to ask questions about. I said, Mom, you ain't talked to his family in all of my life, so what do we care about? What they think?
Right.
That's my story. That's my truth. And I had to say it for him.
Wow.
I don't care what they think. And we ain't talked about that since either.
Man, I want to ask you, I guess I'm going to jump into the music.
Okay.
Let me see. How did you end up meeting D.O.C.?
So when we were coming up in the 80s, there's this thing that people always try to say Dallas needs to unify. We were unified from day one, right? So there was this group called You Know Who. They had a song called Bo and Ho. It was a hit. D.O.C. had the Feel the Fresh crew with Dr. Rock. They had their hits. My group was called Debonair Dimension, and we had a hit called Freebase 9000. So there were a lot of groups connected. Erykah Badu, she was a rapper at the time. There was a station called KNON. We'd all go do interviews there, and we'd all see each other. So we would all do shows with each other, hang out with each other. D.O.C., I was a DJ first, right?
Wait a minute. So you telling me D.O.C. knew Erykah Badu?
We all knew each other.
As kids?
Yeah. We all
How
knew
old
each
was
other.
y'all?
Teenagers.
15, 14. You seeing Erykah, he seeing Erykah, y'all?
Vanilla Ice, all of us.
You even dealt with Vanilla Ice?
Yeah.
I didn't even think that boy was even nowhere to be seen.
He been doing his thing as long as we've been doing our thing in the same clubs we were doing stuff.
So he was around blacks a lot.
Mm-hmm.
That's some good stuff. Now we talking.
Yeah,
right? So you telling me that before Suge, you knew him before Suge allegedly hung him out the window over the balcony?
I was there, and that didn't happen.
All right, we're going to get into that. Yeah. I want to go back to Vanilla Ice. Do-do-doom-doom-doom-doom-doom.
So he had a DJ.
Before that song.
Before that, I was watching
What was he doing before that song?
He was doing the same thing, on stage, doing his black dances and all of that. You know?
Really?
Yeah. That Mustang that he had in that video, that was the car he actually drove.
Really?
While he was coming up, yeah.
So did you... And you felt like he was talented, or you didn't know?
I never thought white rappers were talented in them days.
And when you seen him, you like, how is this working out? Because you had heard of Beastie Boys.
They were the only ones I felt, and then
you see what I'm saying?
And then I knew Run DMC wrote their raps.
You knew that,
yeah.
So you seen him, and you used to be like, this nigga whack.
He trying to be black. That's what we all would.
Who was helping him?
Same dudes that help him today. Tommy Quan, the little Asian dude, he's a cold boy.
That's what done it? Was Tommy Quan here in Dallas?
Yeah, he still is.
And what was he doing?
He's his manager.
Okay, but what was he doing to help him?
He's the one that books him. If he wants a producer, he goes and pays him. He does all of that.
So he will find the person to make that music come.
Yeah, and the thing about Vanilla Ice, I had my opinion when I first met him. But when you meet a person, after you start talking to them, you start seeing the science behind what they're doing, right? So I had one opinion then, I got a different opinion now of the guy. But yeah, back then, he'd perform more than I did.
You seen him. Tell me what it was like when you first heard the hit, Doom Doom Ice, Ice, baby. Doom 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 Doom. When you first heard that song, and you see the white boy, he said, all right, stop. Collaborate and listen. Ice is back with the. You were like that.
I was like, turn that shit off.
Why? You know what else was going on? Pee Wee Herman would rock that doom 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 doom. That everyone just listen to me.
Yeah, Joski.
Yeah. That was the same time they were that music was going on at the same time.
I didn't compare them two.
But still, I used to hear it. I knew the dancing thing was going.
Joski Love was a little before him, but he probably his hit probably lasted.
It lasted into Vanilla Ice's hit. Okay.
So by the time the Vanilla Ice song came out, I believe I was already, I don't believe it, I know, I was already on the West.
So you heard it though?
I heard it because there's a story about that.
Let's talk about it.
Don't know. So when I first get to the West, Suge Knight is the first person I ever laid eyes on. As a matter of fact, Suge guided me into California. Okay. This was before he was a manager.
He had just left being a bodyguard.
He's still kind of that.
Okay.
He was still working for Doc. So Suge had heard about me and Dre had heard about me from Doc. And before I get to that, let me finish answering your question about how I met Doc. So I'm still a DJ. I started writing raps before I started producing.
Okay.
everything that I've ever done, and even in business today, I do because I don't like relying on other people.
Okay.
So I started writing my own raps. Now I ain't got no beats, so I started making my own beats. It just so happened that my beats were more needed than my raps in this game. You know, well, sometimes because I wrote a lot of raps. Ghost wrote a lot of raps, but D.O.C. had this this DJ that was popular on the radio station named Dr. Rock.
Yeah.
Yeah, Dr. Rock came from the Wrecking Crew.
Yeah.
So Dre took his place in the Wrecking Crew. That's how they connected with Dre, because Dr. Rock already knew him. So when I was about 15, 16 years old, somehow me and Dr. Rock meet up, and he loves me. To this day, we close.
Really?
And Dr. Rock used to let me DJ his dates with him that he going out remote for K104.
You was helping him with that. Man, I hate to go to work.
No, I didn't help with that. I helped after that, though.
Okay, because I used to hear that.
Yeah, I wrote a whole album for Dr. Rock after Doc went to Dre.
Really?
Yeah, so it's called, what was that album called? I'll think of it in a minute, but it's only one solo Dr. Rock album, and I produced it and wrote the whole album for him.
That's big. Shout out to Dr. Rock.
Yeah, and in between all of that, I was coming around him and Doc, because Dr. Rock lived in Arlington while he was on the radio, and I lived in Arlington. So I'd be over there, you know, we see each other. One day, Doc comes into my studio, because my group at the time is making a lot of noise. Anytime we get in a contest where there's money involved, you get a cash prize, we won it.
Okay.
We had a bank account set up just off our earnings. We felt like these niggas.
Killing them boys.
Yeah. So Dr. D.O.C. came back after he first went to California, came into my studio. I remember seeing him.
That's first time you meeting him?
First time we had a one-on-one talk.
Okay.
And because we were seeing each other at the radio stations.
At this point, he was talking and everything. Still had his voice.
And I was, right now, I'm about 6 feet tall, but then I was about 5'7", 5'8" till I was in my 30s. And so I'm looking up at this 6'4" dude. Doc about 6'3", 6'4", big old feet. I can remember when he first came in my studio, I'm like, this nigga's in my studio. And even though I met him and all, but now he got a name coming up, and that name is in my studio saying, we need you on the team.
Wow.
That's how I got the original idea to just jet out to California. People think to this day that D.O.C. took me to California, but he didn't. Because after he told me that, he said, I'm going to come back and get y'all in April, me and my group. And he had the wreck after that. And he couldn't come back.
Wow. And
so we just took it up. We didn't know about it. We only had MTV. And if you missed MTV that day, you don't know this dude damn near died, right? We mad at him. we finna go to LA. But before I met him, we were always looking at Eazy-E records and NWA records and saying they record here, they mix there, they master here. So that was my plan. We sold some of that good. We're gonna go mix here, record here, master here. And it just so happens, the universe is crazy. The night that we were pulling out, a dude pulls in behind us. Hey, I work for Suge Knight, D.O.C. I already knew this guy, but I didn't know him really well. And he was like, Suge sent me to get you to bring you up to California. This is the night I'm leaving to go to California.
Wow, that's big.
Yeah. And so our plan changed to where we were following this dude in. But we had the Motorola phone with the big boy.
The big boy.
Yeah, so we kind of get disconnected from him, but it's at night now, and we get on this phone for free. So somehow somebody gave me Suge's phone number. Suge guided us into California, and that's how I first met him. But yet I met Doc, around the way, all of us Dallas-Fort Worth. I won't say Dallas-Fort Worth because there's a few guys that'll tell you I'm not lying when I tell you I was probably the only dude from Fort Worth that would go to Dallas at this time. Wow. I was hanging with all of the names in Dallas. And I don't think that meant that people were scared to go. More like Dallas was scared to come to Fort Worth during this time. They were killing everybody, right? So I would put the effort in to be around the people whose names I was hearing on the radio and all of that. And so to this day, I got a really, really close connection with Nemesis, DJ Snake, all of them. You know, we all get on each other's projects whenever we're asked. Matter of fact, I got a single out with DJ Snake right now that he produced, but I rapped on.
Wow, that's hard.
So, you know, that a lot of things that a lot of people that I know in the business is just me going where the people at.
Wow, I want to talk about Suge Knight. You know, you meeting Suge Knight.
Yeah.
I want to talk about the start. Well, first of all, when you met Suge Knight, NWA was still the more prevalent thing. So was Hutch around at that time?
He wasn't. He wasn't in any of the sessions I was in.
Okay.
And matter of fact, me and Dre fell into a routine where me and him would be the only ones in the studio besides the engineers.
Okay.
So when we first got there, we took a shotgun with us to protect ourselves.
You still didn't know the D.O.C. had crushes?
No.
Okay. Voice box.
Excuse me. Yeah, I didn't know, and I didn't know about how serious the gang culture was either.
Okay.
So before we left here, we didn't have gangs. You know, we didn't have any of that. So there's a picture on the internet right now with me and Suge, my guy that I went with, may he rest in peace, Mob James, and another one of my guys, and we're all wearing, and the female rapper that I was writing for, we're all wearing red jackets. So when we pulled into California that night, we all had these red jackets on.
Yeah.
Suge comes. We met him at this office on Wilshire Boulevard that became Death Row Records, but it wasn't at the time. He raises up the parking lot thing and guides us in. So we drive our truck in. He shows us where to park. We get out. First thing Suge say to me is, "I like that jacket."
That's all.
Yeah, and then he said, "You want a burr?" Ain't that how y'all say it in Texas? You want a burr? These are the first words we say to each other. I'm like, I don't drink burr, and I don't say burr. I say beer.
Yeah.
Right? So that was our first night. Our first words we said to each other in the first night. I told him what I just told y'all. I was planning to record here, mix there, master here, because I want to be. I think I could be instrumental in what NWA is doing. I didn't really think about Dr. Dre. I thought about the group as a whole.
For sure.
Right? It's because I was
Ruthless Records.
Yeah, because I was cussing in my raps before they started making records. And so I was thinking, ain't nobody cussing like I cuss but them. And my music sounds similar to that. So, and that's why Doc wanted to bring us up, right? So Suge listened to my plan, and he helped me carry it out. He took me to Priority, to Brian Turner. You know, he didn't take me to Dre. He took me to Brian Turner.
Because you at this time it's early in the game. He's security, of course, or whatever he's got going, where he's trying to understand management.
Yeah, and he's building his brand.
So he's trying to figure it all out as well. But you asked him where you needed to go, and he was able to take you to that.
Yeah.
And he was about how tall? 6'5". I met Suge. He's 6'4", 6'5".
Yeah.
Met him at the Pond, but when you met him, you seen him. He's a big stature dude, but he's still right now that arrogancy, the money, all that.
Suge wasn't arrogant when
he wasn't. All right,
he was really. I've never known Suge to be arrogant, right?
Okay,
but he was funny. He listened to detail, and he was about execution.
The movie made him look arrogant.
Yeah, and a lot of people these days say he is, but he might be a different dude after Death Row became $100-something million company.
It was $100-something million easy.
So I had less interaction with him once Dre left, and once I left first. I left before all of them because I saw it coming.
You didn't leave for D.O.C., did you?
Fuck yeah, I did.
You did? Because D.O.C. said he left early.
Because he probably wasn't counting me as one of them.
Oh, okay.
But I was there every day, right?
Yeah.
And I left because when Suge took me to Priority, Brian Turner loved my music so much, he said, I need you to help Dre finish this NWA record. And because your music is so good, if you do this for me, I'm going to give you an unlimited budget for your group. So Suge was getting checks. They were calling me like, Suge just came up here and got a check for your group. And one day my lights get turned off, and then another day I get an eviction notice on my door.
You ain't say nothing to Suge about it?
I did say something. Oh, me and Suge had wait.
Okay.
Me and Suge had more than one.
Okay, so wait a minute. Your lights get turned off. He's going picking up the money. He's taking the money.
Yeah.
He ain't even trying to do a split or none of that.
So Suge, my story is different from a lot of people because of something about me. I don't want to say my level of talent, but that's what he was saying, right? Suge had me working with the Jacksons. I was working with other people. They paying me daily. Suge was making these people give me Jackie Jackson is writing me a check for $500 every day for 5 days a week.
How long?
For like 2 years. So 5 days a week.
So you getting money. How your damn lights get turned off?
Because the department wasn't in my name. I didn't know nothing about the payment.
So you just keeping the money?
Who, me?
Yeah.
It's my money.
Yeah, but you gotta pay your damn light bill.
No, the record label gotta pay my light bill. That was our deal.
It wasn't in his name.
No, the apartment wasn't even.
When your damn lights went off, I bet you got a clue.
I didn't even get the apartment. The apartment was there when I got there, and they gave it to me.
When them damn lights went off, what did you do?
I took my shit and came back to Texas because my lights shouldn't have went off. I don't play like that.
You should have went and talked to them and say, "Why in the hell my damn lights ain't on?"
I did that, and then when I didn't get the response I needed,
what did they say?
I don't think I talked to Suge in that moment. That's the thing that pissed me off. Somebody told me he was in Mexico. I feeling like he in Mexico spending my fucking money. So
them times. Boy.
So in those days, these record labels were really shady. They would call you, try to start shit between you and your people. So they were telling me Suge came and got the $60,000 check, this check, that check, and y'all ain't turning in no music. So my ties at home are always thorough. I've been knowing this dude 30 years that's sitting off camera. And then there are dudes I've been knowing for over 40 years. I called them dudes, the dudes that were in my first group, come get me. They were there 24 hours later to get me.
I want to ask you, don't leave there. We want to keep you back in West Coast. What about Jerry Heller? What the hell was he at? Had he met him? Yeah, I met him. Yeah, I met him. So what was up with Jerry?
I didn't deal with Jerry.
Tell me how you met Jerry.
I met him because he would be coming to the studio. So the same 5 days a week that I was in the studio with the Jacksons from 8 o'clock till we got done at night, I was in the studio with Dre during the day until it was time for me to go to the Jacksons. So I'm in the studio with Dre 5 days a week, and Eazy and then we'll be getting out of their sessions.
Cube was gone already.
Cube was gone already.
That's the hell long. Well, you was up there.
Barely gone.
Okay, well, you barely gone. Let's talk about this for a minute. When he made that song, goddamn, I'm glad y'all said it all. Yeah. Used to be hard. What was you thinking when the song?
I wasn't thinking shit. I was loving the song. Did you hear it?
Oh, you heard it. You was there with him.
But guess what happened?
What happened?
That history ain't telling you.
Well, I want to hear this.
So while we in the studio with Dre, the 100 Miles in Running EP gets done.
Okay.
And we got this. They got this song on there called "Just Don't Bite It."
Yeah, I know.
The song is a hit, but it can't be on the radio. When they heard that No Vaseline, Suge came in and was like, and I was a writer. Matter of fact, I was as good as the best of them, and still write. So Suge came in and was like, "We want you to write a diss on Cube and Yo-Yo."
And Yo-Yo.
They wanted to
eat everything.
Everybody. So I have this girl rapper, and NWA just dropped this record. It's going bonkers. So we in the studio with Dre. I remember us all being around the microphone, and I've written this rap about a man that I barely know, but I'm heat in this rap.
You killing him off, Frankie.
And she's rapping it, and we feel uncomfortable about this because we don't really know these people. And then Suge, the reason I wrote it is because Suge like, "Oh, you scared of kill." I ain't scared of nothing. Boop, 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 boop. But it don't make sense, right? So we all around the mic, Dre next to me, Donovan, the dirt biker, is engineering. Usually Dre would engineer if I'm saying the raps. But then once I say the rap, Dre, we do the hook. And I'm not even going to tell y'all the hook right now.
Why?
I'll tell you off camera.
Oh, that's messed up. Is it that bad? What the hell?
To me it is, right?
Come on with the hook, man. It's 20-something, 30 years later. What's the damn hook?
I ain't going to tell you on camera.
That sucks, man. I mean, why is it?
But you remember that the hook on Just Don't Bite It went,
Yeah.
Don't matter. Just don't bite it.
It's the world's biggest.
Yeah.
That's Esther. What's Esther's real name?
I forgot her real name.
But yeah, that's who that is.
But our hook went in the same cadence as their hook, but it was just dissing these two people, and it was ugly.
Wow.
So Brian Turner calls me up. Somehow he hears this song. And Brian Turner, at this moment, he got my group, he's got NWA, and he got Cube.
That's right.
So he says, come here, man, I need to talk to you. Can you come up to the office? So he come to the office, and so I went out there with my own money and with my own car. That's another reason Suge took care of me, because I didn't need him.
That's right.
So I go up to Priority, and Brian Turner is like, why y'all writing songs dissing Cube like that? He said, Cube is telling me that, and I don't know if it's true or not, so, Cube, if you hear this, we can talk about it, but this is what Brian Turner tells me. Cube is threatening to leave the label if we put this record out.
Wow.
And you don't have to do this. Don't get caught up in their beef, because you ain't even part of that. Right. And you have an unlimited budget. So, and it was the first time Priority had ever issued an unlimited budget.
Wow.
So he was like, it don't matter how long it take y'all to finish the record. Just don't get into their stuff. And this was one of a couple of times in my career where I was like, thank you, God. Not because I'm scared of anything, but because I loved Cube as a rapper.
Wow.
And I didn't want to diss this man.
Yeah.
But sometimes when you in a thing, people try to get you caught up in all of it.
Yeah.
So the fact that song got vetoed, it made me feel good, because I didn't feel good writing it.
And it really wasn't a Suge Knight thing as much as it was an NWA thing at that point, right?
It could have been all of that, because at this time, Suge is trying to get in
position, he's pulling that Dre at this time.
Yeah.
Okay.
So he didn't have any business with Dre until I started working with Dre that I know of. Okay.
So you kind of bridged that gap
door
between him and Dre.
I was his door.
That's cool. And I never knew that.
Yeah, and here's something that other people don't know. You remember that day I left that apartment and just said, fuck y'all.
No, yeah, for sure.
A couple of months before that, Suge had brought me, this one event has shown me more than the Death Row blowing up, more than stories I have about Snoop when he first came to the label. This story showed me most that when you are making history, you don't know that you're doing it. Suge had brought me D.O.C's, Dre's, and Michelle A's contracts from Ruthless when he took them from Easy.
Wow,
he just came to my apartment. No, he didn't show me. He gave them to me and said, put these up. Because not everybody knew about me. Not everybody knew where I was. So if I'm thinking now that if they start looking for it, they're not going to look where I'm at.
Look where you at.
So I put these contracts on this shelf in my closet.
So it was
Dre.
Dre
and D.O.C. They were his contracts connected to that story that he strong
armed. What'd you do with them?
I put them on the shelf in my closet, and they were still there when I said, fuck y'all, I'm out. If I'd have thought about it, I'd have took them contracts. I could probably sell them like for a ton of money now.
That's right.
So you don't know you making history when you're making history. And you know what apartments do, right? They bag that shit up and throw it
away.
So I tell you this, if I'm lying, you ain't gonna find those original contracts nowhere, because I had them, and I know them apartments threw them away.
Wow.
So you're not gonna find the originals unless each one of these dudes got their own contracts. The one that Suge took from Easy, Suge will never be able to show them to you.
Wow, that's huge.
You asked a question earlier, and I'm not sure if you answered the question. Something about somebody being held off a balcony was going to get thrown out. Yeah, oh, did you?
We ain't got to that yet.
Okay.
Yeah, this was.
I just wanted to make sure you didn't forget to tell that story.
We ain't got to it yet.
That story is deeper than it's been public.
Well, I'm gonna be honest with you. From what I heard, what I gathered, he started that. He probably seen it on New Jack City, or it was right before. But anyway, the hanging people over ledges and over water and all that. Got everybody doing it. Everybody, this is the thing they do now. They say it in the Diddy trial that Diddy hung a young lady over the balcony.
Yeah, they did say that.
And so this is a thing that you the music execs, the CEOs the big dogs.
Big Red started that.
Okay, so
5 Heartbeats.
That's right, Big Red sure did. Let's talk about it, man. What really how did you see that happening?
Suge goes into the room and says what everybody says he said, but he just looked down. He didn't do anything else. He just looked over that balcony.
He told him to sign this. What did he say?
We can do this the hard way. We can do this the easy way.
And
that boy didn't have to be told nothing else.
He signed. Got rid of that.
I mean, because Suge wasn't by himself. To all of the meetings I ever went to with Suge, it wasn't just Suge. You know, if it was on camera, it would be a lot of stuff happening off camera, right? So when he would walk through a door, you wouldn't just see him.
Wow,
I'll leave it like that.
But he was. What when I look at Death Row when it started, you was around or you didn't?
I was around. It was Future Shock. We were trying to form Future Shock when I first came around. When I first got there, Death Row wasn't even a thought.
Who did you think was the key players in Death Row? When it first started?
I thought me, Dre, Doc, and Suge.
What about the Gregory guy?
Dick Gregory, yeah. Oh, that's my guy. First of all, I want to make clear, I'm just sharing some stories to clear some things up because I've never talked about this stuff. Okay. You never see nowhere me telling you.
No. I'm going to ask these questions though because I do this.
But other than my rent not being paid, my lights being turned off and all that, Suge and I never had a problem. We actually dealt with each other after that on some other business.
Of course.
After we did have a little bumping of heads because I took the equipment he had given me while I was there.
Okay.
So, but Dick Griffey owned Solar Records, and he owned Galaxy Studios. He owned Galaxy Studios on Cahuenga Boulevard in Hollywood.
Okay.
And we did a lot of recording there, and then, but Dick had the game. So since I'm 19 years old, Dick Griffey had given me, before we did Death Row, Dick Griffey had given me my own distribution deal. So I've owned my own record label since I was 19. I still technically own that.
Wow.
And Dick Griffey put out my records and all of that, just like he did the Whispers, just like he did. Rest in peace to Walter Scott. You know, it's a Fort Worth boy.
Dang.
People don't know that boy from Fort Worth. The Whispers from Fort Worth. We're the two twins. Suge and Dick got together to talk about it. But Dick was the one advising Suge on how to form a label and whatnot. I wasn't privy to many of their meetings. Me and Dick dealt with each other through another guy that Suge put me with. They used to call themselves brothers. Call each other brother. His name was Wes Crockett. May he rest in peace. Wes Crockett was a real connector out there, a real dude, right? Bodyguard, all that. He's the one who put Suge on as a bodyguard. He recently passed away a few years ago.
R.I.P.
And I said the 5 Heartbeats, that was his wife in the movie where the dude said, every night I got to fight to prove my love. That beautiful woman, that was my homeboy's wife.
Wow.
And she was real in these streets too. She just looked like that. She wasn't no soft chick. So Dick gave me a distribution deal. Only problem I ever had with Dick is when I signed that distribution deal as a 19-year-old, it had a publishing clause in it that I didn't even catch that. So I'm splitting my publishing with Dick 50-50 for 7 years. And I made a lot of records in 7 years. And that was the only beef I had with him. But the other side of that was Dick was collecting my money so he could get his. So Dick paid me more in the business than anybody has. Because these records, these royalties, these publishing, were paying, and Dick was making sure I was getting them.
I want to go back to the Death Row thing. We mentioned Dick, but Harry O.
I never met him.
He was locked up at the time.
Never heard of him.
You never heard one peep about Harry O. Even though now we know that he was a part of everything.
Yeah. Now I know that there was a party in his honor before Death Row blew up. I know that now. But here's my thing. I don't. It's gonna be ironic what I say now, but I'm a DJ. I'm not a partier. If I'm not DJing, if I'm not performing, I'm not going to your parties.
That's
so
real.
I didn't go to any Death Row parties. I didn't go to any Ruthless parties. Them kind of parties started with Ruthless.
Yeah.
So Dre would have a little get together at his house every Sunday. I would go to that and just stay in his studio writing while everybody else downstairs doing whatever, because I don't drink, I don't smoke, I don't talk loud.
Did you go over Lonzo's house ever?
Never.
So you did. He was before that.
Who was?
Lonzo.
Lonzo was before everything.
That's right. Yeah. I re-interviewed him a few times on here. So you didn't really deal with Lonzo.
No.
Did you know Ren and Yellow?
Yeah.
Was Ren as quiet and kept back? That's why we don't see him no more on the internet or nothing or nowhere. Was he that reserved?
When I was around Ren, he was reserved, but he was also laughing because Eazy-E was funny as fuck, right? So
Eazy was funny.
Eazy was funny, so he would be making everybody laugh. So I would see him laughing and doing things like that. But yeah, I ain't never heard him get too rowdy.
Cause I ain't heard nothing from him for a long time now, really.
He just dropped the album.
Really?
Yeah, about this probably early this year or late last year.
How was it?
I didn't get to hear it.
You didn't get to hear it. When you think about him, man, you say Eazy. Going back to Eazy, what was your experiences with Eazy when you first got there, first time meeting him?
He made me laugh.
What did he do?
He was cracking on the group about something. He had a video camera. He was videoing some things, and he was just telling jokes. And it was funny because he was just funny. But for me, it was surreal. So I was really caught up in the moment almost every time I seen those dudes in the first few months, right? Caught up in the moment, analyzing things, studying everybody. I'm a street guy from here, even though I was a DJ, being 13 years old, you can't survive out here without knowing the streets, right? So I'm watching everybody and all that, and he was just funny. Like, most of those dudes are funny. Most rappers are funny.
Did you ever see him perform? Mm-hmm. What was that like?
As far as what?
Like, what club? Where was y'all at? Where did you see him perform?
I would see some of the tour shows.
Okay.
And you know what? I never focused on Eazy-E performing. I focused on how Dre put them shows together.
Okay.
Fuck. Dre would put them shows together like movies, man. And I put my shows together to this day because of the way Dre used to do his shows. Wow. Matter of fact, I had a period in my career where people would call me just to put their show together.
Did you ever see Miss Chalet?
Yeah, she used to crack jokes on me all the time.
Okay, well, Miss Chalet, was she with Dre or was she with Suge?
She was with Dre. She was with Dre.
So you never seen her with Suge?
She was living with Dre when I was there. No, I never seen her.
You had left before then?
Yeah, that was Death Row 2.0.
Okay. So when she was with Dre, was there any signs of abuse or anything? I asked the same question to everybody.
Again, man.
You see how I go? I ain't gonna ask you no question no different than anybody else. Everybody seen the documentary.
Why would you even say it?
Yeah, it don't matter. I'm gonna ask it. He can do what he want to do with it.
I would never. I never saw any of that. Matter of fact, I used to, man. Listen,
they seemed more in love when you was with him, huh?
All the time. She was always.
You see what I'm saying?
She was cooking.
Let's talk about it.
She was cooking things all the time. She was cooking for these little weekly get-togethers.
Can she cook?
Yeah,
you didn't eat none of the food?
He was in the studio.
I can't remember eating the food because I was in the studio all the time.
Dre was in the studio too. He got him something to eat.
Dre wasn't in the studio when I was in his studio. Dre was partying.
Oh, you were partying?
Yeah. So I would call Dre when we first. So Brian Turner, when Suge takes me to Brian Turner, Suge tells Brian Turner my plan. Okay. So now all three of us are trying to execute my plan. And in doing so, Brian Turner says, I'm going to put you with Dr. Dre. We're going to put his name on your group's album. We're going to pay him $100,000, and you got to help NWA first. So Brian Turner, where was I going with this? So Brian Turner put me and Dre together. So me and Dre started talking on the phone before our sessions. So we had sessions every day at like 3 o'clock or something like that. NWA would be leaving.
Did you know he was special or you thought he was just a regular dude doing music?
Well,
when it come to Dr. Dre, when you seen it, you are Erotic D, but you did your Dallas thing. You come up from Dallas, you on the West Coast. You know already how you get down. You see this dude named Dre, because he had already come down here dealing with D.O.C. and y'all. Well, D.O.C. Then he goes back. Oh, now you.
No, you asking a valid question. Yeah, I got to answer.
Yeah, was was something special? Or was this just a nigga in there on the wheels of steel?
It wasn't special to me because I saw the process.
Okay.
So in the process, I did what a lot of young artists still do to this day. So my process was different from Dre's. I didn't work in the studio. I worked at home and then went to the studio. Dre was already in a place where he could put his music together in the studio. So when I come in, I'm hearing skeletons, I'm hearing shit that don't. And when he say, I did this for your group, I'm like, that shit don't sound like no NWA. I literally would say that. Don't sound like no NWA. Here, use my beat, right? Because our deal was.
You think he was trying to do that purposely?
No, it was this process. It was his process. I never watched anybody build music in the studio, and now that's how I do. I don't work at home unless I'm in my studio now. But no, it was just his process. I didn't recognize it. I didn't understand where it was going to end up until we started finishing things. So he would be like, "We not finished. And our deal was, when I go in the studio with him, I'm thinking our deal with Brian is, I'm doing the music and Dre is engineering. So when we started out, that's how it was.
Okay.
Suge was like, we giving this nigga $100,000. He gonna do something on this record.
That's real.
So when Dre started offering us tracks, I just didn't think that he was putting his all into them.
Okay, I got you.
You know what I mean? But that was just because I didn't know his process. And over the years, you know, being in the studio with him, I ain't gonna lie, man, I still don't look at him like, I look at him like, I'm Erotic D, that's Dr. Dre, we finna fuck some shit up. That's it. I know what I do, I know what I bring to the table, and I know what Dre.
The last time you worked in there with him, it's been a while now.
It's been a while now.
Yeah, because he don't like to put nothing out hardly. Yeah, he just like to be in there.
And that's the reason I don't be around him, because the last time we worked, I had signed an artist to my label named 6'2".
Okay.
People think Doc discovered him, but Doc did not discover him. I did.
Well, why would people think that? And why wouldn't did Doc not try to clear it up?
Nope.
So he kind of rode the wave.
Rode that wave. So what happened was when me and Doc were doing this album called Helter Skelter.
Okay, yeah.
I had a female rapper named Miss Allen.
Okay.
Who her and 6'2" were friends. She turned me on to 6'2" when he was working with some other people. And when I listened to him, I was like, I'm coming to get you when we get this done. So I moved back to Dallas because we did Helter Skelter in Atlanta. I moved back to Dallas. I opened up a studio.
Helter Skelter was done after his. That's the one that's the one right there after he had this the first project that he comes out with after that. And I want to go back to that, but go ahead and keep going with the story. Don't let me forget that.
So I won't forget it. So we come back.
Gee, that's my.
Okay, gotcha.
I'm not worried about you.
All right. So I come back. I come back to Dallas. I keep my word. I get 6'2". I think I groomed him for like 3 years in the studio. Deliver your rap like this. Breathe right there. These kind of lyrics right here. So and we talking about how it got mixed up that D.O.C. discovered.
Correct.
So the whole time my plan was to take him to Dre and let Dre get in the mix with us and get us some bread. So we worked for about 3 years, and then D.O.C. hits me up and says, I got this deal with Dre. Just worked it out. You know, I got this one artist named Uptight, may he rest in peace, he just died. And Uptight was looked at like a new D.O.C., right? So, and he from Dallas. So he has him. He says, I need you to come out here and help me with Uptight. Just negotiate how much we gonna pay you, blah, blah, blah. So I negotiate my pay, but then I add a thing. I said, I got this artist named 6'2". I wanna bring him out there with me. And I don't need you to pay him anything. As long as you pay me, I got him. And Doc was like, all right, his lawyer hit me up, was like, send us a 4-song demo of 6'2", because what Doc got is a deal for 4 artists. So he's only got this one guy, And if you come help us, we'll give 6'2" one of them slots. So I go out there. I send them the music. They let Dre hear. Dre goes nuts. And so the spot is solidified now. Now they give him money. So we've made a deal where my artist gets to sign to D.O.C, but through Aftermath. So he got 3 layers where he signed to me first. Everything he does, I'm supposed to approve. That's what's on my end. Then D.O.C fills this space where he got this deal with Dre. So now he gets to unlock another budget with this guy. So in that contract, I made it where I had to approve everything that he does because I know the game. You don't need to be up here just doing stuff. It needs to make sense. It needs to lead to your record coming out. So in his contract, there was 2 things. One thing I didn't like. 3 things I didn't like. One thing I didn't like was Dre could just give him tracks and he would have to pay him $100,000 for the track later, out of his royalties or whatever. And I thought that was too much for family, right? So then there was another part in there. If we fell out and he fell out with, if 6'2" fell out with D.O.C, he would still be an Aftermath artist. I loved that for him because what I'm in here for is to make sure you get to where you're trying to go. If I fall out of the loop on the way, then hopefully it's because it's natural that way, not that you kick me out of the loop or whatever. So the third thing was Dre wanted, or somebody wanted 50% of his publishing. I had already fell for that shit with Dick Griffin. So I was like, no sir, he ain't signing that. So I switched it to where he got 80% of his publishing, they got 20. And the reason you don't mind sharing your publishing is because an artist, a big name artist, can turn your record down and say, I'm helping you more than you help me. I can get any record and it's gonna sell. Mm-hmm. So if I use your record, I'm putting money in your pocket. So it's like a one hand washing the other type thing. You give up a little bit of the publishing, but not no fucking 50%.
Not 50%.
So 6'2" got 80% of his publishing and somebody else got the other 20. And
are y'all still cool today?
No, because the dude went straight berserk after that shit happened. Now we've talked recently.
How much did they end up? Do you know how much did this whole deal? Millions of dollars. Mm-hmm. And basically, how much did he change? Because I had Sean Cotton on the show.
So money changes people.
He say you never know nobody till they get money.
Yeah.
Do you agree with Sean Cotton?
Yeah, in a lot of ways, because you're gonna find out who they are. They're gonna be more of who they already are. So if you're good, you're gonna be better. If you're a piece of shit, you're gonna stink worse, right? So there ain't no in between.
What did you how did you and D.O.C ever have conversations about 6'2"?
We had to have conversations. But you talking about since or before?
No, like during the time when all this.
So during the time, nobody wanted to hear 6'2" until I gave them the demo.
That's what I'm saying. After that, once he gets the split and everything,
Dre was like, yeah, I want to do him now. So D.O.C got more serious about him.
I get it. And during that time, since you had worked with him so much, did you and D.O.C have conversations during that time?
D.O.C didn't want to hear it.
What was you trying to say?
I need you to me and you need to get behind this kid. And D.O.C wasn't trying to hear that.
Even after Dre?
No, before Dre.
But that's what I'm saying. When Dre gets him and y'all do all the work and do all the paperwork and stuff, now y'all got to talk about it.
No, that's when they switched it up on me.
They cut you out the deal.
Yeah, they took everything.
Yeah.
That's
what I wanted to hear. See, I thought you was working with him because you was supposed to be a part of this thing.
No, I'm there. So this is what happens. When I first take 6'2" out there, we think we're going to work on this other kid's record. But I take 6'2" because I know 6'2" he's needed.
Correct. So
we get there, first night we get there, we have a meeting with Dre and D.O.C.
He already heard the music now.
And nuts about this shit. That's what so when Dre like your shit, Dre is like a fan. He don't be playing about. He don't.
He with you.
Yeah, he gonna give you that love on it. So we're at a table.
What year was this?
This was 99, 98, 99, 98.
Oh shit!
Yeah.
Well, you way up there.
Oh yeah, I go back to 89.
No. But I'm talking about Snoop had already linked up with him and everything.
Yeah, I got
during
story
this
about
time.
that too.
We're gonna go back to that, but then your health scale.
So we're at at a dinner table at a popular hamburger joint. Dre is on this side, Doc is on that side. I'm right here, and 6'2" is right here. So it's like the dudes that done it with the dudes that are about to do it. And I remember Doc and Dre having a little back and forth about with each other, like they cracking on each other about me and 6'2" being better than them, you know. And I can't remember exactly what the jokes was, but Doc said something to the effect of "erotic D on your ass," you know what I'm saying? And then Dre was like 6'2" on your ass. And so Doc, I remember Dre telling, when I love this for 6'2", Dre was like, "We want to do you now," because the plan was to do the other kid.
Okay.
Dre was like, "We want to do you now, because you two, y'all make hits. Y'all don't need nothing from me but the studio."
Wow.
So when we start going into the studio, we're still working on the other kids' stuff.
Yeah.
We getting phone calls from Dre, me and 6'2". If you talk to 6'2", he'll probably back this up. Come meet me at this other place. Don't tell nobody where y'all going. So we go meet up with him, and Dre like, "Why are y'all still working on that other stuff?" He's like, "You supposed to be working on your album. Whatever y'all do that ain't you, I ain't putting out." And he said he loves Texas rappers so much that he wants to do a compilation with all Texas rappers. So that was the only thing he was down for if it wasn't 6'2". So,
wow.
So we get to the studio the next night, and you know that if you've been in the studio with an SSL, it'll tell you the session, the person's name, who session it is. That shit had changed from D.O.C. or Uptight or whatever. It changed to 6'2".
Wow.
Yeah. And so me and 6'2" did a whole album, and we were supposed to be there like 6 months. We did a whole album probably in 2 months. 6'2", that flawless. He's a one-take dude. And we felt like we had already done what we needed to do, so we both came back to Texas. Dre was like, "Man, this shit is incredible." And then him and Doc start fighting over the music.
Wow.
And that's how Doc did the D.O.C. album. That was supposed to be the aftermath album of 6'2", but Doc exercised his whatever was in that contract, re-signed 6'2", where he wasn't in my contract no more. It's just him and Doc, no Dre, and 6'2". This is where everything started being different.
How tough did that affect you and Doc's relationship?
I had been paid a lot of money, and I had also done Helter Skelter with Doc and some other things. Mm-hmm. So as much as I love Dre, Doc was the one always putting money in my pocket. Dre did too, but Doc was more consistent with it. So it didn't bother me it bothered me more that 6'2" would do that without talking to me. That 6'2" would re-sign with dude without talking to me first. But what happened was when Dre and Doc fell out, Doc brought him and 6'2" back home, and we got in the studio and started working again.
So y'all just kind of pushed it away.
Yeah,
just started working.
Just started working because there was some money there.
Wow.
And we all love working with each other. We know we're gonna come with some crazy shit. So the D.O.C. is 6'2"'s nickname.
Yeah.
So, you know, you can put two and two together. You know,
what they done.
Yeah, the D.O.C. album, the second D.O.C. album with his voice like that was really the music we were working on for 6'2", and then Doc did a few other things with Jazzy Faye and the Dungeon Crew, you know, to kind of sprinkle it in there. Used me as the tone setter for the album. That would be what he'd tell me. I need you to set the tone, and I need everybody. So if Doc gets a track from somebody else, which is rare, but if he does, he brings it to me to mix it, you know, make it beefier. If I need to replay something, I replay it or whatever. So I never feel any kind of way about that. But later on, I discovered another artist. Same situation. I said, we need to work with this dude. Doc didn't want to hear him. Doc finally heard him. We had a sit down with Doc, and that's when I said, remember what you did with 6'2"? You're not doing that with this dude. So I always say what I got to say. I just pick my time.
I want to ask you about working with D.O.C. after the first project after the car accident. I heard that project. How easy or how difficult was it trying to figure all that out after you've been through that traumatic experience?
Man, ignorance and youth is a deadly mix. Like, I never looked at Doc like he couldn't do it. Matter of fact, I was the reason there was no features on the album.
Wow.
Because I was like, we don't need nobody thinking you sold this album because of them. If this album gonna sell, it need to be just you. So there were features, but it was all our crew.
But was that after he did that little skit on the Snoop Dogg track?
Yeah, it was after that.
It was after that, wasn't it? Because that was his first thing where I first heard his voice.
This was after all Death Row records.
And so, how was it? Because I remember on here he was talking about how he was writing on stuff, and him and MC Breed and all of them was together, and MC Breed came in on him, and he was telling me all about that. And you get him after that. So he's
I'm
already
in the mix of all of that.
Okay, so
the MC Breed stuff.
Yeah.
So
did you go to Atlanta
MC Breed too? Yeah, that's what we did. Helter Skelter.
Correct. So when you see this,
Wes Crockett hooked it up.
So how was it like? And how long did it take? What was the process?
Well, our initial that album was a beautiful experience, right? Because I got to spread my wings totally as a creative and as a producer. So Doc and Wes Crockett was the one that helped us bring the deal home.
Okay.
And Wes Crockett got me paid big time. Doc wasn't really involved with what I got paid, you know what I'm saying? And then I got paid a monthly payment, so did Doc, for us to be working. So because of that, we took something that we thought we were going to be working on for 8 months. I think we worked on it for 15 months because we're still getting checks while we're doing this. So we blocked out Dallas Austin studio, big old beautiful studio, 8 hours a night. So I was working 12 hours a night for 5 days a week. So I'm working from 8 p.m. to 8 a.m. every night. And I'm bringing in live bands, live guitar players, live everything, live horns, all of that. So I was able to experiment in the studio, and I recommend that to every producer out there. Always experiment with your sound. Don't go in the studio and think, oh, I got my sound, this is it. Just go in there and experiment, because you'd be surprised what you come up with. So that was the process. Doc was in the strip club most of the nights, right? So he'd come in and probably give me one verse, and then this was before Pro Tools, so we still working on big tape.
Correct, yeah. And when I think about that whole time, I know already you guys are doing a hell of a deal when it comes down to basically hanging out. They are. If you're a studio rat, then you at the studio.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But if these guys are definitely hanging out.
Breed and Doc was out and Too Short. Out. Every night.
So the thing you got to understand, man, is like I said, those are enjoyable times, especially back in the days. I be tripping off the fact of how, you know what I mean, how the music was. People don't realize it. Like MC Breed was on the top of his game.
I produced a couple of albums for Breed.
Yeah, but you didn't do that. Ain't No Future in Your Front.
No, sir.
That was a bad boy right there, man.
I did a remix for it.
Oh yeah,
the remix was crazy.
Yeah, it was crazy.
Yeah, it was crazy.
Man,
he only did it on shows.
Yeah. I think, like I said, when I look at those guys and basically that time, I asked D.O.C, I was like, did Pimp C ever get to meet Tupac? I remember asking him that, because Tupac, was cool with Breed.
Yeah, we were all cool with Pac.
You see what I'm saying? Yeah. I didn't know if Pimp got to meet him, you know what I mean?
Pimp was on a Breed record that I mixed, so I'm pretty sure he did. Pimp was real close with Breed. So I wouldn't doubt that he met him.
That's what I was thinking. Because I kept saying that, like, did he meet him or didn't he meet him? You know what I'm saying? Because because he loved him a lot from the way they say he was messing with Jay, and like, if he ain't messing with Jay, he was a Pac fan, and just hearing some of the stuff when they listened to Me Against the World. Yeah. I didn't get to ask Bun that when I talked with him.
Breed was the kind of guy that if he knew you wanted something, let's say you are a fan of Pac and he got Pac in town for a month or two or whatever, he gonna tell you, come down there. Like, Breed looked out for everybody.
Wow.
Like the game lost a real one.
With Breed. Breed, man, when Breed passed away, what do you remember what he passed away from?
Yeah, renal failure, and we were working on a new album.
When he died?
I got songs from the album that he died while we were doing. And one of them's called I'm Back. That shit's crazy. His wife told me I could put it out. And I really wanted to fuck with people by putting out this record called I'm Back.
Wow. So why didn't you put it out?
I got to figure out if I like the sonics, if I like, because if I put it out, it's going to, I was on my way to prison when he recorded them. So we would normally, I'd send them the tracks, they record them, send them back, and then I listen to them, then I get in the studio with them and coach them through it. And we didn't get to that part. So the songs I have were 2-track mixes. So I have to see if I can master them in a way that sound good to me, sound like my standard or whatever. Other than that, that's the only reason they're not out.
When you look at MC Breed, and
I wrote songs for Breed too.
You wrote them for him too.
Mm-hmm.
Wow, that's crazy how you had those relationships with those guys. Did they seem, in the moment, did you feel like these guys were who they end up being for us on the?
I mean, I was one of them. So,
of course,
like the difference between
I get that part, but I'm just saying
me and them was
they died.
No,
well, he did.
They wanted the spotlight.
Oh, okay.
I wanted the work, the art to come out. So I was one of them without being known as one of them by their whole fan base. And that fan bases know me, but I didn't need to be in front of the cameras and all of that stuff. It just wasn't me. I was a father already.
What did you think about Pop?
Did
you meet him?
Yeah.
Was he art guy, or was he who he is, or he just not? He was. A lot of people say, I just did my boy. What's his name? What's up, love? How you doing? And I've been hanging with the Money B.
Oh, that's my guy.
I just did Money B, and I was just basically,
Money B.
I mean, he was saying Pac was not no punk. Like he was, if you see him and you come with it, he coming with it, no matter what time it was. And that was early on, so I know he knew him early.
He did. So I was there the night. I wasn't with him. I was in town the night he shot the cops.
Me and Faison talked about that.
Yeah, the night he shot those cops, we were all at Breed's house. Pac, they were waiting on Pac to come there to go out. In Atlanta, them clubs stay open all night. So I remember around midnight, they got tired of waiting on him. And I told you, I ain't partying anyway. I wasn't going. I had my son, he was probably about 6-7 months old. So I had taken him to Atlanta with me to work. My kids, that's probably why they're such good rappers now. They were born and raised in the studios with me while I was working. So that night, I stayed in the house. Get up the next morning, I hear this ruckus.
Wait a minute, Faison said he was there that night too. That he didn't go because he said he wasn't. Man, I'm not going out with no Pac. He felt like he knew that Pac was on, like they was on something totally different, and he wanted to deal with.
The couple of times I saw him, he was on something different. He actually ended up, from what I heard, because I wasn't there when this happened, but I do know, Ichiban would. So Breed had a sweet situation with Ichiban Records. He could say, and we all kind of wash each other's, scratch each other's backs. So Breed would be like, how much you want for this track? I'd be like, 10, 15. Tell him you want 20. Give me 5. All right, go in there and tell. So he probably did that with Pac. Ichiban used to print your check in the office.
Wow.
Not just write you a check. They had the check printer with the little embossed numbers at the bottom and all that. So we all got used to going in there and saying, yeah, Breed told me come get my check. I think one day Pac went in there and they didn't have his check, and Pac tore up the office. And,
wow.
Yeah, and
I can see that happening.
Yeah, and I had my thoughts about that, but it wasn't my business. So I was just like, that's how he want to handle it. I wouldn't have handled it that way, because what if they say now we don't want to pay nobody in the future? And at this, when you working with Breed, you could be in between contracts or whatever, and your money ain't looking right. You can go to Breed and say, let's do a record, and Breed gonna get you paid. I wouldn't want to mess that up.
So you say Pac kind of messed all that up?
I don't think he messed it up.
Well, he could have.
Could have messed it up. He could have, yeah. So I said I wouldn't have done it like that, because I wouldn't have wanted to mess up Breed's thing.
Yeah. And that's the whole game about having a different look on life. But you got to realize during that time, right, Pac had did movies. Pac had been in certain situations. Mm-hmm. Okay, sorry about that. Pac had been in certain situations, and basically he was more, he was skilled. He knew the business. So, what would make him do that?
You know, I can't call it, man. I can't tell you. I would have to have been there. Mm-hmm. You know, to draw any kind of conclusion. Some could have triggered him in the whole situation. Those people were British. You know what I'm saying? So it could have been a white thing.
You know, Black Panther, it came out.
Black Panther, white British. You know what I'm saying? That would have been my first guess. You ain't finna play with my money.
With my money at all. I don't play like that. You do breed. But you're not finna play with me.
Because they done cut us so many checks in front of us. We like, how the hell you ain't got no checks? I'm pretty sure that's how that went.
That's how that went, man. I want to go back and ask you about Snoop Dogg. Yeah. You meeting him, you know, the early Snoop, right? How early did you meet Snoop?
Oh my God, before Death Row. So when I first met Snoop, I met him over the phone.
Okay.
I was so tied in with Suge that I had come home. I used to have a habit of coming to Texas on the weekends. I'm paid, finna come out here, fuck around a little bit, you know what I'm saying, then go back up there and get back in the studio. So one time I'm here, and Suge calls my mom's house, my parents' house, and asks for me. I get on the phone. He's like, I got this new kid I'm thinking about putting on. I want him to freestyle for you on the phone, and you tell me what you think. And Snoop got on the phone and freestyle for me. That was the first time I met him. Because of course,
what did it sound like to you?
He was new.
What do you mean he was new?
So when we get in the game, we thinking the Run DMC, LL Cool J, barely anybody as laid back as Rakim. So when Snoop starts spitting, I'm thinking he just talking.
Oh, you like what is going? What, you didn't like it?
No.
What you? No, this ain't. Man, I heard. Did you not hear? Okay, when you heard Deep Cover, what did you think?
That wasn't what he spit. And that ain't what he spit over.
What did he spit over? Oh, he just
spit an acapella over the phone, and I'm thinking while I'm listening, why am I listening to this dude rap acapella? Because Suge want me to. Now, what I got out of that is how much Suge respected my ear.
Yeah.
So what I told Suge was, he all right.
Snoop?
That's what I said.
Now, okay, fast forward. I want to go to Deep Cover.
Fast forward to the studio sessions.
Okay.
You got to understand that what comes out in studios ain't always the artist by themselves.
Okay.
So he was able to be produced, and that's a win. And when I said he was all right, it wasn't me dissing Snoop. It was me saying, this who we finna work with, let's get it.
Yeah.
But it's gonna take some work. That's how I saw it in the moment.
Was you a big critic?
Yeah.
That's probably why you was critical on. Who did you hear at that time that you was like, he hard, he gonna be cold? During that time, of course there wasn't no damn Snoop, but who was it that you thought? Because if you a critic, this puts me somewhere. You know what I mean?
Yeah. At that time, I didn't listen to other rappers outside of people else.
You was set tripping, man. That's all it was. I want to get to it. You was set tripping, nigga. If it would have been in Texas, nigga, you would have been like, yeah, man, that nigga hard.
I was trying to get Texas dudes on.
See what I'm saying? You was set tripping.
Even if I didn't think they were that good, I was trying to get them on.
Tripping, nigga.
Because the money was flowing. I was trying to get, man.
And Roddy D was set tripping on Snoop Doggy Dogg, man.
When you got America's Most Wanted out there, you know, the Ice Cube albums, and you got and
East Coast was really, really hidden during this time too.
Yeah, I'm still listening to
they still doing their thing.
So some of the raps that were right that ended up used on some West Coast stuff, I would be writing the Fear of a Black Planet. There was one beat on there Chuck D and them had. Even though I make my own beats, I was like, God,
that's it right there.
You know what I'm saying? So a lot of my raps was written to some of those East Coast beats while I'm doing beats totally different. Because to me, every producer who is decent gonna have a fire ass beat once in a while, even if you just decent. So I listen to all kinds of people's stuff, and I always heard things that I liked.
Did you like, again, the deep cover track? Was you out there when they done it?
Yeah, my homeboy Colin, you need to talk to Colin if you ain't talked to him.
I hadn't talked to Colin. He on the West Coast?
Yeah, he played.
When I go back out there, I'm going to hit you up.
Yeah, he played all the bass on Deep Cover and on The Chronic and on Niggas for Life.
What did you say when you heard it?
We still talk about it. Nigga, you showed out.
You heard it?
And Colin moved to Atlanta at the same time. Me and Doc moved to Atlanta, and Colin worked with Breed and Doc and all them too. But he worked with Michael Jackson, with Dallas Austin. Wow. So that's how cold this boy is.
So when you heard it, you equate. So when you heard Snoop and Dre going off on that track lyrically, you were more focused on the production of it because you a producer.
I was a rapper first.
I don't care what you say. I just seen how your eyes lit up for that nigga, man. You know what I'm saying? I seen it, nigga. You can't hide it from me.
I was a rapper first.
I don't care what you say. I'm talking about what I just seen. I'm talking about Snoop, and you go, oh, and then I talk about you like, what's the nigga name again? Did y'all need the interview?
Colin Wolf.
Colin Wolf, man. You know what I'm saying?
Because,
you seen it, didn't you?
Because Colin,
it's real obvious. It's okay. It's real obvious what you're doing here.
So I'm ambidextrous. So I got love for both sides.
No. I'm going by the smile and the body language.
Well, okay, that may be because me and Colin are still like this.
Oh, so you ain't cool with Snoop now?
I don't talk to Snoop as much as I talk to Colin.
I got him, Jonah. I got this nigga right where I want him.
No, me and Snoop, we cool. But I actually talk to Colin. Like we see each other and all that. Every now and then I go to LA. If I catch Snoop, I go to his crib or whatever.
But still, I seen your eyes light up. I seen the smile that gave it away. You a real producer at heart, nigga.
Yeah, but I'm a rapper too. So that was
the wheels are still all of it telling on you, homie. So listen, you can go and play it.
The wheels are still.
I told you, I see him. I know it. That nigga's in that music, man.
So, but see that was, now that you mention it, that may have been my issue with Snoop at first. Me being a rapper at heart, when I heard him freestyling, maybe it had been comparing him to myself.
You from the South.
Yeah.
You trying to make all this thing.
This style is totally different.
And he on that humping like a rabbit.
He wasn't on that day. He was rapping more West Coast that day.
Well, he was going more East Coast?
Yeah.
Wow.
All of us, man, East Coast.
I wish you would have recorded it, nigga. That would have cold.
I didn't even know what happened. The East Coast influenced all of our music,
It definitely did.
We all started out rapping that way.
That's hard, man.
I used to yell on my raps like LL Cool J. That's who I wanted to be.
Oh, yeah?
So when I got to LA, that's how I was rapping when I write for people. If I write, I'm yelling.
Hardcore.
Throat hurt when I get done.
Top 3 artists of all time, dead or alive.
Any genre.
Top 3 artists of all time, dead or alive, any genre.
Top 3 artists. I'm going to say Sir from the West Coast right now. Dre, of course. Any Dr. Dre record for me is going to deliver what I'm expecting. He been having some off songs lately, but the run has been incredible. And then Rakim.
Rakim, that's my favorite.
But if I'm going 5, we can't do a top 5.
No, we're not doing 5
ever. Well, let's do an honorable mention. Let's do an honorable mention for LL Cool J, because I'm tired of people leaving.
You don't worry about it, because he did I Need Love when no other nigga didn't understand what they needed. You know what I'm saying? You got to talk about him, and you can't really just leave out Ice-T, nigga, because without Ice-T, a lot of that music they talk about, gangster music and all that, you wouldn't even thought about it.
Ice-T influenced me.
You see what I'm saying?
Ice-T influenced me very much when I first started rapping. So I would try to write like 6 in the morning or like LL.
Wow.
Yeah.
What was it? And you ran in Ice-T while you was out there? Okay. What was that
My boy
like?
literally ran in Ice-T. Now, Ice-T DJ Evil D, when we first got out there, my partner that went out there with me, he crashed into his car. We hadn't even met T yet. But when I was doing Helter Skelter, Wes tried to connect me and Ice-T, so me and Ice-T used to talk.
Wow. What was that like?
It was cool. I mean, they all treat me like I'm one of them. Right, Battle Cat tells me I belong to the
Shout
West
out
Coast.
to Battle Cat. Let Battle Cat follow Boss Talk. We got to rock with him and Snoop for sure.
Yeah, Battle Cat tells me you might be from Texas, but you belong to the West Coast.
That's wild, really.
Yeah. So Ice-T and me, we used to talk a lot, and Darlene, he was still with Darlene. We started talking. So he would be like, when you come over, don't ring my doorbell. Come around because I don't want to hear her mouth. Come around this other side. I never went to his house, but that was the conversation. Right?
That would be.
Because me and, when we got ready to start doing Helter Skelter, Wes tried to hook us up to do Ice-T's new project that he was working on. And I think he ended up doing it with Immortal Technique or somebody like that.
Wow.
And it came out good. I feel like I would have brought something else to the table, but it came out good. I love Ice-T. I mean, there's not many of these guys that I met in this business that I wouldn't want to hang with, you know. You asked me if Michelle and I got along. Every day I would call Dre when I first got to LA and rap to this dude on the phone every day.
Wow.
Because we're in the studio every night. So I'm saying, this is what I'm going to say tonight. And I'm rapping all of about 3, 4, 5 months into it, Dre was like, man, just save it till we get to the studio. Because I was keeping him on the phone for hours. Yeah. But we would talk for hours about production and things like that. And Michelle would crack jokes on me when she picked up the phone, you know. But, you know, I didn't know, I had no idea what came along with fame, you know, because at this time, hip-hop wasn't what hip-hop is today. Mm-hmm. So I'm not knowing that Dre is getting famous.
Yeah.
You know, I got him on the phone for hours, and he got so much love for me, he letting me keep him on the phone for hours when he probably got other things to do, interviews and whatnot. So one day he finally just said, hey man, just let me hear it at the studio. Just bring it to the studio.
How Tone Loc?
Tone Loc was a cool dude. You know D.O.C. has a documentary.
Yeah, me and him talked about it.
So in that documentary, it has me, Eminem, Dr. Dre, Snoop Dogg, and Tone Loc, and Too Short, and Erica.
Wow.
So Too Short was around good back then. He was, I mean, not Too Short. Tone Loc was around. He was around. Like, Suge was connected to a lot of rappers that you would be surprised that were around Death Row a lot. Singers too.
When you seen how he elevated and became this big guy with Death Row, all these hundreds of millions of dollars, and to see him evolve into that, what was your perspective on him when you seen that? And all the way till now. Yeah,
I have a real tendency to accept people for who they are. Somebody going through their evolution, I try not to judge him. You know what I mean? Like, he never changed on me. So I never looked at him like he turned into a bad dude or anything like that. You know, he never put his hands on me. In fact, I threatened him. All 5, 6 of me threatening him because of a situation we had one night. And instead of knocking me flat on my ass, he was like, man, let me talk to you. Why are you talking to me like that, man? He put me into another room because I was talking like that in front of my group.
Wow.
And he was like, man, if he told me something real, he said, man, if I wanted to, if I didn't have love for you, you wouldn't know where my mama lived, you wouldn't know where my kids live, you wouldn't know where my wife lived. So I don't want to have a problem with you. We don't have to have this problem, man. Calm down. Right? So that's my experience with him. Like, as far as like it could have turned ugly, but he didn't let it.
So basically, when you think about it, Suge Knight, I just seen an interview he did on Piers Morgan's show. A lot of the stuff he says, OG Piru came down here and contested and went off on him because they was out there together that day.
Yeah.
A lot of the podcasts and stuff. Do you think that's a good look for him right now?
No,
or do you?
I don't.
Why?
I think it's because knowing so many dudes who came home from prison and things didn't go well for them, I feel like that could be an issue. You know, some of the things he's saying. At the same time, you know, like if a man feel like he want to tell his truth,
story, yeah.
Well, who are we to tell him he can't? At the same time, like I'm seeing other podcasts where people, like you said, your guy.
Oh yeah, OG Pyru, shout out.
Yeah,
that's my guy right there.
I see some other podcasts where people are super hot at him, and some of these people got some power.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And when certain things happen to you, when you seemed immortal, now you seem mortal to everybody. And, you know, some of the people that might have been scared of you before might not be scared of you when you come home.
Wow. Man, like I said, he definitely left a mark. Anywhere you seen him, he had this thing where people looked at him and they feared him more than anything before he even did anything. It was just a way they felt. Now, you guys didn't see that element of him at that time. I
saw it in other people. Okay. Because I saw him do certain things. But I never felt any
But early on, I'm talking about later on during the $100 million reign and the way they was moving, and it was already obvious that who he was at that time. People, you see him on the Source Awards or anywhere you see him at the Soul Train Music Award, this, you know, the way he was, it just hit you right in the face. Let's get to it, because this is our last subject.
It's not our last subject.
It's not?
No. So how old were you when you had to go sit down for a while?
I was 38.
What? That's late in the game.
Yeah, because I was rich, playing around here acting like I ain't got to follow no rules. Yeah.
What happened?
So I was married for 10 years, and I started going, we got divorced. So I started going to strip clubs. I'm going to these strip clubs.
In Dallas?
Yeah, in Arlington. There was one that I had on lock in Arlington called Fantasy Ranch. I had that joint on lock. Like,
you know, I was a peeping Tom guy.
I went down to peeping Tom.
We shoot pool over there.
When I saw a dude doing this, I was like, shit.
No, we shooting pool. I'm not looking at them broad, man.
Yeah. So I'm in the strip club every night, and I'm fresh, you know. I'm always dressed, and these chicks were always up on me. And every now and then, one of them would say, "You got some white girl," and I'll be like, "Nope." And then they'll ask me, you know, later on, "Nope." One night, a chick asked me, I said, "Man, do I look like a drug dealer?" She was like, "Yeah, you do." And I was like, "Oh, snap," you know, being the entrepreneur that I am. She started telling me, "I sell for this dude up in here. And if you decide to sell out, I'll kick him to the curb and sell for you because you sexy." You know? Then I started thinking, and my man that's not on camera, he'll tell you, I go to the strip club and my table will be packed with dancers. I ain't paying nobody. I'm walking out of the club with more money than I had when I got in the club. Yeah, so she put this in my head, and I was like, okay, I would have somebody on the inside. So I go back to my street connect, because I stay connected to my people. I didn't change up when I started making legal money. So I go back to my people and get a plug, and I put her to work. And one night I'm at the club, and I got another homeboy who helped me and Doc a lot in the game, in the business. He gave me action on these Sprint chirp phones, and they already own. I just got to sell them. So he gave me like 50 of them. I take them into the strip club, because now I'm the king of the strip club. I can do what I want. So I got a table full of these cell phones, these flip chirp phones, and another dude is in the club. He like, man, he came over. He's like, man, I've been watching you. This shit was like a movie. I've been watching you for months, man. And I just wanted to know how you get all these chicks to just sit with you all night, and you're not paying them. Because if I did that, they cuss my ass out. So he's like, I want to get down with whatever you doing. At this time, nobody know I'm hustling. They just me and the chick know. And I tell him, if you can help me sell these phones, I'll put you down. This fool sold all 50 of them phones in one night. So the next day, I was like, this is what I'm doing. And I'd be more comfortable if you sat up in this club hold my shit and give it to her. So he worked at Coca-Cola. He was a square when I met him. And but he wanted to be down with he wanted to get at these girls. That's really what he wanted. So I'm like, all right, you sit in here, you come in here, be here by 8 o'clock. I ran it like a corporate business. You be in here at 8 o'clock every night. Because by the time they get here for the 7 o'clock shift, they be dressed, they on the floor by 8. Make sure they get what they need. Because at this point now, they like, we got to have it before we start working. So he starts doing this for me, and it start going up, like even more. Start doing it at other clubs too. I go in there, I find a girl, then sit another dude in there with her or whatever. So I got so good with the club that when the police were at the door, they would come tell me, police getting ready to come in. They would hold them there until somebody came and told me. So don't be, doing nothing while they're here. They'll play a particular song and all that. They actually do this for dancers. They'll play a particular song and the police coming in the door.
Okay.
Yeah, so don't touch nobody, put your clothes back on, that type of thing. And so we making bank in this club. And then when the club closed that night, now they're at home with their men who also want to get high. So then they calling us after hours all night. And one night, I would collect all of the work from my people because I didn't want them. Some of these dudes were married. Some of these dudes lived, with people that didn't need to know they hustling. So I say, give me the work. And some nights it would be, so little left that I just stuff it in my gas tank, and take it home and then put it away. And I got a clean record at this time. I ain't never been in trouble. So this night I'm living in some apartments in between houses, and I end up having to park like a mile away from my house. And when I get in the house, I'm like, I forgot that work because I never left it in the car. And I was like, I'll get it in the morning. I'll just drive back down here and put it in the house. Got up the next morning, I was building a recording studio in Dallas. So I had to get up and pay I would go get these Mexican workers, they would sit at a Home Depot or something, they waiting for people who got work. I go get these dudes. I owed them like $12,000 for the week or whatever. So I got their cash with me, and now I done forgot I got this work in this gas tank. So I'm driving, I got a brand new, now this after Helter Skelter, now I ain't got no business selling drugs, but now all of my money comes in check form. I ain't seeing cash no more. So that's what the allure was. It wasn't getting money, it was seeing it stack up. So now I'm driving this brand new Lexus SC400. I had just got off the showroom floor. I probably had one of the first ones, and I'm driving. I got long hair at the time, and I got a stocking cap on my head, and I'm wearing a basketball jersey. And a racist cop saw me. He said I changed lanes 5 times without a signal. So I'm telling y'all now, y'all better be using them signals. He said I changed lanes 5 times without a signal, and I probably did. I probably was speeding, because he was driving an F-150. He wasn't even driving no damn police car. So I didn't see the police lights till I get out of the car. He searched me. He don't find anything because, who gonna look in the gas tank? And so he gives me the $12,000, puts it in my waistband. I'm wearing sweats. And he's like, yeah, you be able to, he pulled me over and he's arrested me for driving with a suspended license. So he says, you'll be able to bail yourself out, but a few $100s. You just use this cash. I'll just take you to book in and you can pay to get out. I already know the process. I've been arrested for tickets before. So I'm sitting in the front seat of this car, cuffed in the front seat. That's a truck, so I got to sit in the front seat. And the tow truck driver gets there. They getting ready to tow my car, and the cop is searching my car. So he wants to search the trunk. In that particular car, you pull the trunk, but the gas tank is right next to that. So he pulls both of them. And I see that gas door open up, and I'm like, oh, shit. Now, the tow truck driver is on the gas tank side.
How much was it?
A number 5 grams. That was all that was left from that night. So the tow truck driver sees the door open and he sees the plastic baggies. And I see him it looked like slow motion to me. He like, and instead of just closing the door, because he looked like he could use a bump, I'm like, you could just take the shit. Because the cop is still in the car. So when the cop gets out the car to come search the trunk, I see dude in slow motion again.
Point.
And when the cop saw that shit, he came over there and did this to me, came back to the truck and was like, you won't be needing this. Got my cash. They really started tearing up my car after that. And then he took me to jail. That's how I caught my case.
How much time do you get for something like that?
He got probation.
I got probation.
He got probation.
So
you always get probation.
Yeah, so I got a 10-year deferred sentence. I didn't know.
Was it one of those deferred adjudicated? Meaning if you don't get in trouble, they'll take it off your record.
Take it off my record. I didn't know, and for y'all that don't know, if you get a deferred adjudication, you can ask to get off of that. In Texas, I know you can ask to get off of that once you've done a quarter of it, or a third of it. I didn't know that. I did 5 years of it.
So you could have asked to get off.
Yeah, and then I caught another case 5 years later.
Same type case.
Yeah, delivery case.
Okay, you got hit by a narc. Narc.
Yep. And I was out of the game.
Sold to a narc.
Yep, I was out of the game. He talked me back into it.
Who, the narc did?
Yeah. Texas does not have entrapment laws, and he entrapped me like a mother. He was using it. He was using it. He was doing everything in front of me. Of course,
they do anything to get the bus.
So he tried to make me, he tried to make me snitch. He said, I'll drop these cases if you give me 3 plugs for every case. I'm like, nigga, I don't even like 9 people. I don't know no 9 drug dealers, man. I ain't giving you shit. So he tried to have the detective try to have me checking in with him while I was on bond. I'm like, I ain't doing this, so I stopped. I was still running into him in the strip clubs too.
Wow.
Yeah, he was mad when he would see me in the strip club and I wasn't calling him.
How much time did you end up getting?
Yeah,
I got 12. So at first, initially, I got 18 years for that 5 grams.
State.
Yeah. So initially, I got 18 years.
And to serve 10 probation, but
then they gave me. I served 5 on probation. Yeah. And they gave me They could have now the option they have with deferred adjudication.
Didn't they?
Yeah, but the option that they have when you on deferred adjudication, they skipped all the options, and one of them was they can put me on a real probation. They chose not to do that. They didn't have to send me to prison. The judge had my same name, like my last name was his first name. He was a DEA officer before he was a judge. So, I'm sorry. So he was pissed off about me violating probation with another drug case. Mm-hmm. So he was getting ready to let me go, and the prosecutor did some full bullshit at the last minute. The detective was late. And the detective got there and told a lot of lies. He said a lot of things that didn't happen. And the judge got mad at me because when they cross-examined me, because I took it to trial, when they cross-examined me, I told them that the prosecutor set me up. She said, so you're saying the detective is not telling the truth? I said, that's not how it happened. So the judge instantly got mad at me. He said I called the detective a liar. So at this time, when I go to prison, they still believe in everything that police say. They don't believe nothing that the black man say. So they send me for 18 years, and it was like a TV moment, because when he said 18 years, I hit the table. 18 years? Stood up, yelled in the court. He was like, and he hit the gavel. Yeah, 18 years, and if you didn't come in here and plead true, you know what that means, that I did it. If you didn't come in here and say you did it, I would have gave you the whole 20. I'm like, what's the difference between 18 and 20? And so he walks out. Turns out he was getting ready to let me go because he was moving that day. He wanted to get me off his docket. So that day was going to be the last day the prosecutor even had a chance to send me to prison, and the detective shows up at the last minute. I mean, we literally sat there half the day waiting on this fool. And so when I get to Denton County Jail, I'm talking to my people who we've been planning this. I was on the run for 3 years. We've been planning all of this, what we gonna do. So I had people who were in place that were gonna put money in my bank account every month, and a lot of them were my customers.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? $5,000 a month here, $5,000 a month there. So one of them was like, man, just ask them for an appeal attorney. We're not gonna pay for that. We don't need to pay for that because there's a chance you're not gonna be granted an appeal. So I did ask for one. They gave me an appeal attorney that fast before I caught Chain. She came and saw me, pretty ass little white lady, came and saw me, sat me down, listened to my story, and she was like, what? She went and talked to the DA, came back the same day and was like, you gonna get your appeal. I'm like, what? She was like, yeah. I talked to the DA, he said that you were offered 10 years and your lawyer didn't tell you. Your lawyer told them, no, you ain't taking 10 years on the spot. You weren't even in the courtroom yet. She was like, that's a violation of your civil rights.
Right.
Yeah. So she said, I already told the DA that they better agree to the judge about you having an appeal, a new trial, or I'm going to call them as witnesses for your defense. And they were like, we'll offer him 12 because we ain't putting 10 back on the table because we don't believe he would have took it. I said, pull out your table. Tell me what's the difference between parole on 10 and parole on 12. 2 months, I'll take the 12. And so I went in there and got that 18 reduced to 12 before I caught Chain.
And when you caught Chain, and what unit did you hit first?
I went to a transfer facility. You know they don't have them no more now.
Yeah,
right?
which one?
So I went to a transfer facility called, which one was that in Abilene?
Middleton.
Middleton, yeah. And man, I thought I was comfortable in Middleton until I got to prison. Yeah, I went to Middleton and I liked it because it was close. My wife and kids were visiting every visitation, things like that. But the visitation is also shorter in there. So I sat there for about a year, came up for parole, and I was in Middleton for about 7 or 8 months, and I was already up for parole.
Wow.
And they denied me. They set me off because they were like, you ain't been here long enough and you violated a probation. You never finished a probation. So we going to set you off 1 year.
So you were pairing it up and everything else. Pairing it up. Pair it up. You was walking to
all that. Nuts to butts shit.
Nuts to butts. Did you ever work in the field?
Never. So
I worked in the field. You was on the broke dick crew.
So what? I didn't do nothing.
That's what I'm talking about. You was in that dorm. You wasn't doing nothing.
So when they set me off, about a week or two later, they transferred me to WIN unit.
Yeah.
When I got the WIN unit, I sit there. You know how it go. You talk to the warden. Warden picks up on my intelligence. He's like, are you gonna be a problem in here? Are you gonna be a problem? Are you gonna be somebody who's influencing other people to do? I'm like, hell no, man. I'm trying to do my time and get out of here now. When I get there, I still got 18 years on paper.
That's right.
The change up ain't made it there yet.
That's right.
I'm sick, nigga. I'm like, hey, we gonna hold you for 18 years until they tell us different. And this been my first time. I'm sick about it. So I got lucky. They were like, since your IQ is so high, we can use you in the law library.
That's right. So
we're gonna put you on the trustee camp. I never went inside.
So you was there
my whole time in prison. I never went into the building except for church.
So you writing writs and everything.
Yep, all that helping, trying to tell these niggas I know you trying to get this contact visit, bro. But if you get common law marriage, you got to get divorced before you can move on. Do you really want to do that?
Yeah.
You got to make sure these contact visits are worth. Because if you get divorced, she can take half of whatever you got or whatever. So, they were like, you better not be selling the information. You better not be doing none of that. And the law library is one of those jobs where they bring you, your bosses bring you food from the free world. I'm getting pizzas, McDonald's, all that. Matter of fact, one of my bosses was a manager at McDonald's when he wasn't at the prison. So he bringing burgers and fries all the damn time.
That's hard.
So when you get to the trustee camp, it ain't prison, but you're getting the prison experience. But you're not getting the full prison experience.
Where was you at? Mineral Wells? Where was you at?
No, I was at WIN.
Okay, yeah, you was at WIN.
Yeah.
Okay, I got you. That slipped by me again.
And
Because Mineral Wells, Win, who else had the pre-release?
I don't know. But
it was a bunch of them. It wasn't back then. I don't know how many there are now. But.
So for y'all that don't know, the trustee camp ain't got no police. The police that's out there, they just babysitting. They ain't got no gun. Ain't no gun tower out there. Ain't no fences. You can walk away from the prison.
That's right.
You also got a track, full court basketball. You got softball fields. You got you outside till the sun go down.
How long was you there? When?
A year. And then I made parole.
Of course.
And then they sent me to a therapeutic community where you're supposed to snitch on each other in a circle and all that and do none of that. And
what year did you get out?
2011.
2011.
Yeah, I've been out 14 years. And I got off parole on Juneteenth.
Come on, man.
So
Juneteenth.
No, so this Juneteenth was 5 years.
Hey, there you go.
Off parole.
Yeah.
I've been out 14 years. But I look at it like, ironically, I won my freedom from the state of Texas like my ancestors did on the same day. Because Texas was in my life for 20 years flat.
Wow.
So I got to ask this, though.
That's crazy, man.
Yeah.
Thank you for being home. You ain't been in no more trouble.
No more. I ain't even thought about breaking around. I told you that the whole thing was just for sport.
That's right.
I ain't had enough of that game.
Congrats. How can an individual know if they're, because you were lucky enough to have an appeal attorney to find out
I had a parole attorney too.
Right, to find out that lawyer had turned down that deal. But how can anybody who going through their situation know if their attorney is doing that to them?
You have to, what I learned for that experience is, even if you think you can't win, whatever they offering you for free as far as attorneys and appeals and all that, try it. Because when they assign you an appeals attorney, that's the person that's going to look into your case. That's the person that's going to look and say, the transcript said this, or the DA said, why would the DA even put that in there knowing that ain't the right thing? But I got lucky that this DA put that in there, that they offered me 10 years. No, they didn't put it in, they told her that.
Wow.
They were bragging. We offered him 10 years, and he didn't even, his lawyer just told us no, he didn't, so we know he wouldn't have took the 10 years. That's what they were doing. And, I had all these stand-up people in court for me, and they would ask him, did you know he was selling drugs and blah, blah, because I never, ever mixed my legit business with my street business and vice versa. If I did business with you in the street, I didn't go in the studio with you and vice versa. Mm-hmm. So nobody from this side knew I sold drugs. So whenever somebody would say no, the DA would be like, and then you didn't know the real Dion Gabriel. And I'm like, oh, she good. But then she, I brought all my plaques. I brought all my plaques and stuff in the court. They gone. They don't even give you. They don't tell you. They don't give you the evidence back. Once you present evidence to the court, they don't give it back. So all my platinum and gold plaques got scrapped, and all of that. And I had said something about being in the studio with Snoop Dogg or something like that, and she told my appeals attorney when that day that she threatened to make her a witness, she said, and tell Mr. Gabriel that he was violating his probation every time he was in the studio with Snoop Dogg too. And I wasn't, because Snoop ain't never been convicted of no crime.
Yeah, she's just talking.
Yeah, she just assumed he's a convicted criminal because of what he said on his records. So, yeah, that's the thing I would tell people. Just explore all avenues and make your people from the outside ask questions. So whenever it was hard for my wife to reach me, she would call and cuss that jail out, and they would come to me immediately and admit me, would you please call your wife and tell her we gave you the message?
Wow. Yeah. Check it, man.
I got it. I'm not done yet. You took over the whole thing. So,
well,
okay.
You be editing, I'm not tripping.
Exactly. So, I know that earlier you said, well, in the beginning, you said that you preferred to be in the background all the time because of what you did. So a lot of people, especially in today's society, it's always a thing about they want to be famous. Everybody wants to come from behind the scenes to be out in the open because they want to be seen and want to be known. Do you think it's better to be famous or to be just in the background and collect your money?
Well, that's a good question too, because being rich and being famous, that's two different things.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? So if you want to be famous, be ready for what's what comes along with that. If you look at my social media, you'll see I'm all over the place with my baby girl. She's my only daughter, and that's the reason I didn't want to be famous, because I wanted to be able to raise my kids. So I would choose that every time. I would choose being able to be a hands-on father over touring, over people showing me fake love every time, and over the possibility of getting shot by a fan. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm so popular.
But then did you speak to your kids about it? Because you said your sons they're doing rapping, and then the type of careers that they're doing, they're going to be famous and have that money at the same time.
The reason I'm doing this is for my kids.
Right,
I told him that.
But I'm saying, instead of having that conversation and say, you sure you want to be...
I've had it.
You know, better for you to be behind the scenes and still get your money type of thing. And what did they say to you?
My kids grew up privileged. You know, they grew up having everything, and even my grown sons, I give them anything they ask for. So they're used to having things. I think what they want to do is the same thing I wanted to do, just get the art out there. And they just want to perform. They just want to do these things. My daughter's the only one. We call her Hillary Banks. She's the only one that care about the money.
Okay.
Right? But my boys, I think that they were around me so constantly that they know how to be humble. They see the humbleness and the productivity in being humble. You know, I think that they see how much work you can get done by being humble. So I gave my kids their own recording studio. They can make all the money they want whenever they want to make money. Gave them a high-end recording studio for them to set their own tone for their career, and I produce their music.
Okay.
So we work together. We're peers. We're co-workers. We're colleagues, and we're family.
That's good. So
it's not like I'm gonna not be there to say, "Hold up, young man, don't chill out." You're
still guiding them.
Yeah. I say on my social media all the time that I'm a lucky man that even my adult sons come to me for counsel.
That's awesome.
Like when they have an issue, they call me first. They like, Dad's been through it all. Dad knows all of this, so they just ask me whatever they need to know, and they all have their own. Well, my two adult sons have their own family. So.
And you said, okay, when you traveled all the time when you were younger, because you were in the your parents were your dad was in the military and so forth, and you had to travel. It made you where you wouldn't get attached to anything or anyone.
Yeah.
Do you feel like that hurt your relationships?
Because I was attached to the right ones. I just wasn't attached to ones that thought they were going to be missed.
Okay.
No, so my two marriages, I've been married twice for
That's what I was trying to figure out how, because you said one 10 years. So
one for almost 19 years.
Okay.
So for about 30 years of my life, I've been with just two women. You know, I ain't gonna say like they're the only women I slept with, but they're the only two I've been in relationships with. And I was very much attached to them. I wouldn't have married them if I wasn't.
Okay.
But they were also you. You know what I mean? They were that. They were. My first solo album, my first wife did all the dick sucking skits for me, all that.
She's like, ain't nobody else gonna do this.
Yeah, and my second wife, she was like, speaking of ain't nobody, my second wife was like, don't you ever let me hear you say that's my bitch, because I'm your bitch. You know, so my wives were very much, very supportive of what I did, and anywhere I wanted them to be, they were there.
So in cases like that, like, you should have just had that one marriage and not have a second, and not end up with a second marriage. Right. So how can you, from your experiences with your first marriage, without giving too much detail unless you want to, how can you advise other people not to fall into that trap?
Be real with yourself.
What happened first of all? Then we can go into that.
So she and I, my first wife, literally lived with each other from the day we met.
Okay.
We met on a blind date. Somebody introduced us, one of my guys. He was dating her best friend, and he was my closest person. So they introduced us, and she lived about an hour away from me. And when I'm hustling, she don't know it. So I got her in the trap house, but it don't look like a trap house. So, it's real clean and real professional. When somebody getting ready to come to the door, when I'm there, they looking out. So they don't let people knock on the door. They go to the door and then go out.
Okay.
So she's not seeing any of this. So I take her home at about 3:00 in the morning, And from day one, she's like, I'm worried that you fall asleep while you're driving, so you can just stay here. And every night I took her out, she would say the same thing till it just became routine. So we lived together from the day we met to the day we decided to split up, 10 years. And during that time, when we got married, I was telling her I didn't want to be married. I was telling her I was too young. I knew I was going to be fucking around. And she kept asking me to marry her. She actually asked me to marry her.
Okay.
And at the time, we killing it in life together. You know, when I met her, she was 19, she had her own apartment, had a good job, and she immediately started throwing into what I'm doing. Now, we already done the chronic and all this stuff at this time, so I got money coming in. But she was like, I want to be a part of what you're doing. So I said, okay, she's the best partner for me. She was pretty. Some of my rapper homeboys was like, your wife is gorgeous. But the more I got out, the more I started seeing other shit. That was you know what I mean? So I got to where some days I'm cheating with 3-4 different chicks, sometimes at the same time. And one day I looked up and I was like, you know what? You deserve better than this. I pulled her to the side because I never shit where I sleep, so I never took any other woman where I would take my wife, and I wouldn't take my wife where I would take somebody else. So you would never run into me and my wife somewhere. So, but one day I was like, you know, you deserve to be with somebody that just wants to be with you. I'm realizing I like a different kind of woman.
Okay.
And because I said that, she said she wanted to stay married. She said, I respect you for telling me, because I gave her an option. I was like, I can stop it, or, you know, you can do whatever you feel like you got to do.
And some women will feel like they will transform into whatever woman you now like, she wants to be that for you.
It was physically impossible.
Okay.
Yeah, so I was like, but you know, you my dog. I mean, you know, I don't want to leave my son. And so we tried for another year or so, and the only thing she had changed is she had started breaking into my voicemail. She had never done that before. And I was like, I can't apologize to you for the rest of my life for something I already apologized for. You told me you forgave me.
Right.
So that was the end. And to this day, I think because we did it that way, we are like this. To the point where when I met my second wife, they loved each other. Like, I still had hair. So my first wife was still braiding my hair for years until I met my second wife. And then I asked her, can you teach her how to do it? Because my second wife was white.
She taught your second wife how to braid your hair.
My hair looked exactly like she did it.
Wow.
Right. So I was known for that hairstyle for a long time. It was a different kind of hairstyle. So, you know, we started spending all our holidays together, raising our kids together. There was never any fighting and all of that. And when I met, the difference between the first wife and the second wife is I married a woman that I was physically into and mentally into. And she was just like my first wife in every other sense of the word. I used to tell them, God sent me the same woman twice, just in different skin.
Right.
And, you know, they would get together, crack jokes on me and all that. I'm still the brother-in-law to her, my first
wife family. Yeah. Right.
She's remarried now, but they prefer me over the new guy. That's a weird story too. So the second wife, you know, I sat her down, was like, I'm gonna always have a second woman.
Right.
So I tried being honest instead of, you know, letting her find out.
The second marriage didn't last either.
But that wasn't my fault.
Oh.
Yeah, I take full responsibility for the first one.
Oh, okay.
The second one wasn't me at all.
Was not you.
No, and it wasn't like she cheated or nothing. She just had a lot of childhood traumas that played out during our marriage. And when that happens, ain't nothing can hold it down unless they get the help they need. Because I did all of the loving husband things I could think of, you know. I was at home every night. I chose working in my recording studio so I wouldn't be away from her. Like, till the day that we weren't together anymore, I was attached to her.
So, because a lot of men fall in that same trap when they become from 0 to 100, meaning like get to that popularity status.
I had a lot of women before I was.
Oh, you already was doing that.
Women ain't never been a problem for me.
No, because I always wonder, because a lot of people always end up leaving the one that you had behind, because all of a sudden now you get exposed to a certain type of lifestyle that like this person don't fit the criteria for them no more and stuff like that.
I felt kind of like that before some of these records started blowing up. I would look at her and go, she need to work on that. She need to work on this, but then she would hit me with that big bright smile and all that love, and I'd be like, "This is my dog." I mean, because I still love her to this day as a person, as somebody I spent 10 years with, right? Mm-hmm. But like, and I had to be some kind of maniac because I was still handling my husband duties at home. Some days I've been with 3-4 other ones. I still come home and put it down. I ain't never used a drug or no Viagra or nothing. Right. So she didn't have the experience like something wrong. He falling off. He ain't taking care of his business. I still took care of business, but it wasn't after like it was happening the whole time. From day we met.
Wow.
I was. Like sometimes I would go into my studio, it'd be a party going on in my studio.
Party all the time.
And then some chick would hit me when I leave and be like, "Hey, I got your number from your boy. Are you coming back to the studio?" I am now.
So you just had a problem in being faithful?
No, I didn't want to be married.
You didn't want to be married,
yeah.
but the second marriage you were totally faithful.
Yeah, I was. Yeah.
Okay, good.
And no, I guess
he's like
she liked women.
So that helped.
We was handling business.
Let me ask you a question. Because all that y'all talking about, everything y'all talking about, I heard one thing. The Chronic album. Okay, that's what I heard.
I knew you heard that.
You know what I'm saying? Like, so the Chronic came out in what year?
91.
91.
Sorry.
Who was we listening to in the South?
I don't know. I wasn't in the South.
Yeah, but we were listening to people in the South.
I wasn't in the South.
Just trying to let you know. You know what I'm talking about? You left. You left us, nigga. That's why. And I always tell people, during those times when you go back to the early 90s, because there's some songs that came out.
Oh, wait a minute. Ghetto Boys.
Ghetto Boys. It wasn't just the Ghetto Boys, though. It was a host of people that never made it up to the West Coast.
Yeah.
We had back the Down South Hustler cassettes and all that stuff that nobody wouldn't even think about what we was doing down here. I try to tell people that it was a hell of a decision trying to figure out if I was going to put the Chronic album in down there in the South.
Yeah.
It wasn't all, don't get it twisted. I definitely jammed it.
Yeah.
I had the leaf on I had it.
Yeah.
In the Baby Lack.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about with the 4100 engine, nigga. I'll bring some memories back. You know what I'm saying? I had it. And with the first remote CD player. You know what I'm talking about? With the cord on it. It was remote, but it had the long string.
I remember those. I never had one, but I saw dudes with them.
I thought I had it going on.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So, I'm just saying, man, how different is the South when it comes down? Because I'm the dude that you see how I'm working on my app and creating things to make the South stand out in a way to try to figure out ways to capture the dynamics down here, which really aren't captured the way that they should be when it comes to a top 10. I'm a UGK fanatic, as you already, if you watch the show, you know that already. But at any rate, how far different is it? And when you look at, do you feel like it was scaled correctly? I gotta ask you that.
What was scaled?
As far as the top, if I say the top 5 albums, if you ask anywhere, if you asking, see now what you just did.
No, I'm asking if that's what you asking me.
If it was in the South, then that'd be different. You said top 5 of all time.
Okay.
At certain years.
Yeah.
My opinion gonna be different than a nigga from the West or the East Coast.
Yeah.
If you being real with yourself.
Right. So that's why I don't get into those conversations.
You know what I'm saying?
Because there's no gauge. There's no solid. You can't make somebody like the same 5 people you
They're
like.
not gonna do it.
So I don't agree with the Tupac being number 1.
I don't. Watch yourself. Watch yourself.
I'm gonna tell you why I don't.
Not for to play with you.
I'm gonna tell you why I don't. I'm gonna tell you why I don't. Because, and I don't agree with the Nas thing. Because
I definitely don't.
Because as a producer,
I don't definitely deal with the J saying. So
I love me some J.
I don't.
But I'm gonna tell you why I don't.
Go ahead.
I'm gonna tell you why I don't agree with a lot of people's top 2, top 5. because as a producer, you know how many rappers that haven't made it that I've heard?
Wow. That is something to think about.
Yeah, so no, they not my favorite top 2. We ain't even got to say their names.
Yeah, that's real. I like that, man. Thank you for coming on the show, man. How can people get a hold of you if they're trying to reach out?
Come follow me at Erotic D on Instagram. You might find me under The Most Ruthless King. I'm trying to migrate from Erotic D to The Most Ruthless King. And then on Facebook, I got the Erotic D page. It's Erotic D. Twitter is Erotic D1. Somebody had tried to steal it from me. And then I have a website, themostruthlessking.com. That's where you'll find everything, my music, my clothes, my wines. I own a wine label. I own a consulting and coaching division of my company. I own recording studios. We own a lot of stuff here, so don't think the OGs be sitting around broke. Half of us ain't.
Stop playing, man.
We ain't broke. I'm far from that. But I also want to announce that the D.O.C. and I are actively working on a Helter Skelter 2.
Wow, that's gonna be dope.
It's crazy. We already got the first song.
Oh yeah,
the first single, and we're trying to drop it mid-July.
Man, shout out D.O.C, man, and all them other boys, man. That work on that music and continue to keep going, man. Keep that. Hey, keep
crazy.
Keep that. I know that's
still crazy.
Who's penning the craziest between him and Ice Cube?
D.O.C.
Oh, easy.
Ice Cube will tell you that.
Oh, yeah.
Ice Cube will tell you that they like this.
They partners.
Yeah.
Man, check it, man. It's been another great segment of Boss Talk 101, where the bosses talk.